with the Sharingan, am trash. This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 101. Meet Susanoo again. In the meeting room. The current situation is not very good. After being ranked 7th for 2 consecutive rounds and ranked 6th in the end, this ranking made Fang Weifeng and others look ugly. In the current situation, if we want to get the 4th place in the end, we need to get the 2nd place and the 3rd place in the remaining 2 rounds of competition. Fang Weifeng analyzed their current situation and was at a loss. To get the 2nd or 3rd place, we must compete head-on with the top 3 colleges. With our current overall strength, how can we compete? Director Zhu smiled bitterly. They have added Yuan An's name to the substitute list and then replaced one person as a substitute. But this is not something that can be decided by 1 or 2 people. The college competition has never been a matter of one person, but a matter of a team. The first round of the second half is a single match. The 23 colleges will only play 1 match. The alliance will put colleges of equal strength together for a competition. 10 people will play 10 matches, and each win will earn 1 point. In the case of the same number of wins, the shorter the time, the extra points. Now there are 23 teams, one of which can be exempted from the battle directly and get half of the wins, that is, 5 points. This exemption is useful for colleges with lower rankings, but not for colleges with high rankings. We must take the initiative to give up this opportunity. According to the practice of previous years, the 4 major colleges are all 2-2-2 battles. Although our overall strength is weaker this year, we should still have to face Linghai College, which ranks 3rd. Fang Weifeng has analyzed the overall situation, and it is almost accurate. Although Shengjing College is not as ranked as Zhenshan College and Zhenhai College now, if the 2 colleges really have to compete with each other, it is still believed that Shengjing College can compete with Linghai College. This is the problem. Against Linghai College, both sides will definitely win or lose. But what they need now is not to win or lose, but to strive for the top 3. Even if Shengjing College was at its peak, it was not certain that it could reach the 3rd place. Not to mention that only Huangyu and Yuan An were truly at the same level in Shengjing College, and it would be difficult for the others to compete against Linghai College. Even with the Shanji horse racing arrangement, it would be difficult to advance to the top 3. If they couldn't even make it through this round, it would be difficult to make it through the rest. Just when all the instructors and Fang Weifeng were at a loss, Yuan An suddenly said, "Dean, I have a solution." On the eve of the second half of the competition, Yuan An said today that he would never sleep with Huangyu. I don't know if this girl really didn't know or was pretending not to know. Every time she went to bed, she would hug his arm and sleep, and she hugged him so tightly. She didn't care that the tofu was eaten up. She didn't care, but Yuan An did. So no matter how Huangyu made a fuss tonight, he still insisted on leaving Huangyu's room, which made her angry. It wasn't too late yet, and Yuan An planned to go out for a walk. He hadn't been to Lihuo City at night yet. Not every college has such great pressure. Some colleges with lower rankings basically participate with a cheerful attitude. Winning or losing doesn't matter. These people have the leisure to stroll around the night view of Lihuo City. Yuan An is a little nervous because it will be his first time to play tomorrow, so he comes to relax. The people who come out to set up stalls in Lihuo City at night are all locals of Lihuo City. There are a lot of things. Food, clothing, and entertainment, everything. Yuan An casually strolled around and didn't see anything he wanted to buy. Finally, at a stall selling jewelry, he saw a crescent necklace. You can buy this to coax Xiao. When he came out just now, his tough attitude seemed to have made Huangyu angry. He still had to coax her. After paying the money and holding the necklace in his hand, he was about to leave when an acquaintance came over, Susanoo. In fact, they were not very familiar with each other. The two had only met once in Park Seo City. Of course, that meeting was not very pleasant. Susanoo also recognized Yuan An at once. "Hey, I finally found you." There was a bit of anger on her face. Last time in Dawn City, she was actually trapped by Yuan An's illusion. and suffered great humiliation in the illusion. At that time, she swore that if she didn't take revenge, she would not be a good man. Not a good woman. Is there anything? Yuan An put away the necklace indifferently and looked at Susanoo with a bored face. This is Lahore City. Do you want to fight here? Those who do will be disqualified from the competition. Humph, your Sharingan Academy is so embarrassed this year, and you still have the nerve to come out? Susanoo certainly knew the rules, but not being able to fight does not mean that she can't talk. As one of the 4 major academies, you are going to be eliminated. It's so embarrassing. If it were me, I would just admit defeat obediently. Otherwise, if the competition continues, the ranking will drop further. There was a burst of laughter around. Facing Susanoo's words, Yuan An turned a deaf ear and turned away. But Susanoo's words were still coming from behind. Yuan An, you'd better pray that you don't run into our Basin Academy in tomorrow's competition, or you'll be in trouble. Returning to the restaurant, passing by Yuan Yu's room, Yuan An stopped and knocked on the door. Yu, are you asleep? No sound. I bought a gift for you. If you don't open the door, I'll take it back. After saying that, Yuan An counted down silently in his heart. 1, 2, 3, 9, 10. Just when he counted to 10 seconds, the door opened. Behind the door was a pretty face with a bit of anger. What gift? Her little mouth was slightly pouted, as if she would turn around and leave as long as Yuan An's gift did not satisfy her. Yuan An smiled unhappily, opened his palm, and a beautiful crescent necklace fell down. The girl's eyes also brightened up the moment the necklace appeared. I saw this necklace outside and thought it would be a good match for you, so I bought it. Do you like it? It's just so. Although the joy in his eyes could not be hidden, Yuan Yu still pretended to be unhappy. I bought it for you, so you have to wear it, even if you don't like it. Yuan An had a serious face, but he opened the necklace very gently and helped Yuan Yu put it on himself. The two of them were facing each other, very close to each other. The elegant fragrance of the girl was intoxicating. Suddenly, Yuan Yu slightly tiptoed and kissed Yuan An's cheek lightly with his soft lips. The soft and warm touch made Yuan An stunned for a moment. But the girl had shrunk back, hiding her whole body behind the door, revealing only half of her red face. Brother, thank you, she said softly, and then closed the door. Yuan An was left with a somewhat stunned touch on the face that was kissed, a little depressed. This girl is so bold that she even dares to take advantage of me. Chapter 102. The so-called substitute means one person replacing 9 people. The first round of the second half of the competition started as scheduled. The first thing that started was the draw ceremony. 23 colleges drew a place for exemption from battle, with a probability of 1 in 21. Some colleges wanted to draw it, and some colleges didn't want to draw it. For weak teams, drawing this place can at least guarantee that they have half of the points for winning games. Half of the points can at least be ranked in the middle. For strong teams, the upper limit is high, and half of the points ranking will drag them down. Under the eyes of everyone, the college that finally drew the place for exemption from battle was Wuyu College. When the place was drawn, cheers suddenly rang out in Wuyu College, and several other colleges that were also ranked at the bottom were envious and jealous. Wuyu College ranked last in the first 3 rounds of the competition. Now that it has drawn this place for exemption from battle, its ranking in this round is basically stable in the top 15, and its overall ranking can also be pulled up by 3 or 4 places. For Wuyu College, this place is simply a great profit. The remaining colleges began to draw lots and compete against each other in pairs. Basically, the colleges that were drawn are of similar strength, which is fair to everyone. The colleges behind were basically the only ones who were worried. What the other audiences were most concerned about was the matchup between the 4 colleges, especially those who were in the top 10 of the individual points list, all gathered in the 4 colleges. Their competition was the most interesting, and the draw for the 4 colleges was just as they expected, with 2 of them facing each other. But the specific matchup list was a little different. Shengsha College vs Linghai College. Basin College vs Sharingan College. This was a little different from what others expected. Many people thought it should be Shengsha College vs Basin College, and Sharingan College vs Linghai College. Even Fang Weifeng and others didn't expect that they would actually face Basin College. But in general, Shengsha College was the first among the 4 colleges, and the remaining 3 colleges were about the same. Shengjing College was only greatly affected by the lack of a few seeded players this year, but it was not bad in other aspects. The strength of Basin College and Linghai College was even more evenly matched, no matter which one they faced. It's just that Shengjing College and Basin College had more conflicts, and there were more topics when the two faced each other. The Shengsha Alliance knows how to create topics. Hahaha, Liao Fang, I didn't expect it to be such a coincidence. It seems that we are facing each other again this year. Fu Lingshan laughed loudly. Yes, we are facing each other again. Fang Weifeng was calm, no longer as angry as before. We have won and lost in the previous few matches, it doesn't matter. But this year, if I'm not wrong, your Shengjing College will rush to 4th place in the end, and at least one of you will be 2nd and 3rd in the remaining 2 rounds. In the worst case, you have to get 5th in this round, and then get 1st in the last round, so that the overall ranking can be tied with 4th. This year, your players are so bad. Do you want us to give you a little water out of friendship, so that you can save your face as one of the 4 major colleges? Fu Lingshan plotted loudly, as if he was afraid that others could not hear him. Fang Weifeng retorted, no need, I'm afraid that if you let us go, then our students will not be able to grasp the scale and shut you out. That would be embarrassing. You and I talked back and forth, and before the official competition began, the 2 sides had already started to have a strong smell of gunpowder. After completing the draw, the next step was to start preparing to go on stage. This round of competition was held on the field. There was no need to change places. The competitions were held one by one, except for the Wuyu Academy, which was exempted from the competition. The remaining 22 academies were divided into 11 groups to compete, starting with the lowest ranking. One competition after another was displayed on the field, watched by countless people. The other academies that had not yet had their turn began to submit the final list of players to be on the field. Yuan An can now be added to the list as a substitute student and then go on the field as a substitute. Dean Fang, your academy's list, is it really correct? The staff of the Shengsha Alliance looked at the list and seriously doubted whether it was wrong. That's right, our main players are not feeling well, so we let the substitutes go on the field. Is that okay? Fang Weifeng said. It's okay, but are you sure? Very sure, just hand in this list. Fang Weifeng said affirmatively. Okay. The man had no choice but to obey their wishes and took the list away. The competition did not last long. A battle can be ended in an average of 5 or 6 minutes, and it can be ended in 2 or 3 minutes at the fastest 11 groups. A total of 110 battles, also played from morning to afternoon. Finally, after the first 9 groups of competitions were completed, the 10th group competition, Shengjing College vs. Basin College. The staff of Shengsha Alliance began to speak, and the names of the players from both colleges were listed on the big screen. Basin College, Zhao Wei, Fuzumi, Linzu, Shilin, Wang Yang. Shengjing College, Huang Yu, Yuan An, substitute, Yuan An, substitute, Yuan An, substitute, Yuan An, substitute, Yuan An, substitute. After seeing the list of players from Shengjing College, everyone was stunned. There was no problem with the first 2. Huang Yu is currently the first in the individual points list, and is also the trump card of Shengjing College. The second one, Yuan An, is a substitute, and there is no problem. It is normal for substitutes to replace starters. But what's the matter with the list behind? Why is the same person a substitute in the back of Shengjing College? What's going on? Is it a mistake? One person replaces 9 people. Everyone was puzzled when they saw this list. But the words of the Shengsha Alliance staff surprised them, since the starting players of Shengjing College are not feeling well, all the substitutes can only play. In other words, is there anything wrong with the list? Yuan An is going to replace 9 people. 1 against 9? Question mark? What's going on? Theoretically speaking, there is no rule that substitutes can only replace once. If the starting players are not feeling well, substitutes can be allowed to play. The Shengsha Alliance also does not stipulate that the same substitute cannot replace multiple times in the same match. But this is not a question of whether to replace or not. Yuan An is replacing 9 people by himself, which is equivalent to playing 9 games in a row. Isn't this courting death? Question mark? Under the same strength, 1 against 1 requires all efforts, not to mention 1 against 9. Even if they take turns to fight, they can't bear it. Old Fang, are you so angry that you just find a student to be a scapegoat? Fu Lingshan was a little confused about Fang Weifeng's thoughts. Fang Weifeng was helpless and patted Yuan An beside him. There's nothing we can do. We are short of people this year, so we can only catch 1 student and take advantage of him. Don't worry, my student is tough and can't be killed. Let your student fight with confidence. Chapter 103. It's my turn to perform. Fang Weifeng patted Yuan An's shoulder helplessly and said to Fu Lingshan, Old Fu, you also know that our college is in a bad situation this year. No one is using it, and it happens that the starting players are not feeling well, so we can only let this student work hard. But don't worry, let your students play freely. My student is thick-skinned and can't be killed. Yuan An also had 1,000 complaints about Fang Weifeng's words. You are great, you are noble, you let the opponent beat me to death. Question mark? Although this request was made by Yuan An, why did Fang Weifeng's words sound so wrong? Fu Lingshan certainly would not believe this, but just snorted. I want to see what tricks you want to do. But no matter what tricks, they are useless. After drawing lots, the next step is pre-match preparation. The 10 players on the Basin College side are preparing. And there are only 2 people on the Shengjing College side, Huang Yu and Yuan An. Huang Yu played the first game, and Yuan An took the next 9 games. Brother, can you really do it alone? Huang Yu's little face was full of worry. When she learned that Yuan An was going to fight 9 people alone, she was extremely shocked and expressed strong opposition. This is not a child's play. 1 person replaces 9 people and fights 9 games in a row. Even if you know that Yuan An is very strong, you can't fight like this. The people in Basin Academy are not vegetarians. Don't worry, I'm not afraid. So what are you afraid of? I have even passed the abyss, so why am I afraid of a small trial? Yuan An smiled and touched the girl's head, telling her not to worry. To be honest, if he didn't want to see Huang Yu's strength, Yuan An even wanted to replace Huang Yu, and he would just replace 10 people by himself. 1 person against 10. That scene will definitely create a legend. But thinking that he might be scolded for being too arrogant, and Huang Yu's strength is not weak, so he doesn't need him to make up, so he just chose to replace 9 people. Yuan An, all the hopes of the academy are on you this time. If you succeed, you will be the first hero of our academy in the future. Fang Weifeng said solemnly. What if you fail? If you fail, you will be the first criminal. Fang Weifeng's expression was extremely serious. Yuan An. On a high tower in the center of the competition stage, the staff of the Shengsha Alliance were watching the situation below. 1 person is a substitute for 9 people. Mr. Mu, is this really in line with the regulations? Beijingshan was one of the main referees of this academy competition, but when faced with such a situation, he could only ask a red-robed old man beside him for advice. The old man called Mu Leo stroked his beard and said with a smile, the rules for starting and substitutes have always been that the starting and substitutes cannot be the same person. If a starter is a starter, he cannot substitute for another starter. But there is no rule that substitutes can only substitute once. Because this situation has never happened before, there have been no relevant regulations. But even if he can substitute 9 people by himself, it is not so easy to play 9 consecutive games without resting and replenishing spiritual energy in the middle. Looking at Yuan An below, Mu Leo smiled. Let's see what wonderful performance this little guy will have. Fang Weifeng should have some outstanding qualities to make him put all his hopes on him. Hearing his words, the others could only nod. The competition started soon. Shengjing College vs. Basin College. First match, 3rd level 2, Huang Yu, wind, water, ice, triple S level. vs 3rd level 6, Zhao Wei, wind, B level. At first glance, Huang Yu is 3rd level 2, 4 levels lower than Zhao Wei. But as a triple S level psychic and the first in personal points, everyone knows that Huang Yu's strength is not that simple. This competition is destined to be a very exciting one. Both sides get ready, start. With the referee's order, Huang Yu and Zhao Wei started at the same time. Divine Windful Sky. Zhao Wei pointed to the sky with one hand and slapped the ground with one palm. A huge cyan magic circle immediately appeared in front of him, and countless huge wind blades shot out from the magic circle and shot towards Huang Yu. Huang Yu was not in a hurry, just gently raised a finger and drew a circle in front of him, and then lightly tapped. Divine Windful Sky. An identical cyan wind magic circle appeared, and a large number of wind blades were also shot out from the magic circle. Dang dang dang. The dense wind blades collided with each other and actually made a sound like metal colliding. Moreover, the two identical skills produced a clear difference at the moment of collision. Although Huang Yu was only at level 2 of the third order, he was able to use the advantage of S level to suppress Zhao Wei's level 6 of the third order wind system. Seeing that his wind blades were about to be consumed, Zhao Wei gritted his teeth and changed the seal in his hand again. Divine Windfall. A huge wind tornado rose from the ground. Divine Windfall. Huang Yu still used the same superpower, but summoned a wind tornado that was more powerful than Zhao Wei's. It was still the same superpower collision, but Huang Yu's superpower was still the strongest. As wind systems, S level thinks too much about B level. Even if Huang Yu is 4 levels lower than Zhao Wei, he still has to suppress him. People outside the field watched this scene and marveled at the power of S level superpowers. This girl is not bad. She is level 3S. She is the future of our Shengsha Empire. On the high tower, Mu Leo looked at Huang Yu and nodded with satisfaction. Beijing Shen also agreed. Level 3S ability. The first person in ancient and modern times. As long as she grows smoothly, she will definitely be the top talent of our Shengsha Empire in the future. Finally, after 3 minutes of fighting, Zhao Wei was finally defeated by Huang Yu and was steadily suppressed by Huang Yu with the same ability. Many people thought it would be a wonderful battle. The result was a one-sided suppression. However, this also made them clearly see the horror of S-level ability users. Zhao Yu, you fought beautifully. Huang Yuxing hurried off the court, and Yuan An couldn't help but praise him. That's for sure. The girl's face bloomed with a bright smile like a flower. It's your turn in the next game. Brother, you have to work hard. Don't worry. The second game was Yuan An's turn. Under the eyes of countless people, Yuan An went on the court. And the person who came on the court from Basin Academy was also someone he was very familiar with, Susanoo. There have been 2 conflicts between the two. What did I say last night? It really brought us into conflict. Susanoo had a look of contempt on her face. Do you still want to play the hero and fight 9 people alone? Today I will make you kneel under my pomegranate skirt. Yuan An had a blank expression on his face and didn't want to say a word. When facing such a talkative person, the best way is to ignore her so that she gets angry but has nowhere to vent. Chapter 104. Susanoo. An easy win. The second match between Shengjing College and Basin College. Level 6 Yuan An, Wood Element, F level, Spirit I Element, F level, vs level 10 Susanoo, Ice Element, A level. The referee's words and the information displayed on the screen once again stunned everyone. Did I see it wrong, or did I hear it wrong? Double F level? No way. Is there such a low level of ability as F level? The new level of ability was announced some time ago, and F level is the lowest. I was wondering why it was suddenly updated. It turns out that someone broke through the lower limit. Hahaha, I laughed to death. It's actually double F level. That's really a pity. Can a level 6 of level 3 with double F level beat a level 3 of level 1 of level C? Where does he get the courage to substitute 9 people? Did Liang Jingru give it to him? The level of strength is important, but the level of ability strength is equally important. The most obvious example is the previous match between Huang Yu and Zhao Wei. Huang Yu, who was 4 levels behind, relied on her powerful S-level ability to easily defeat Zhao Wei, a B-level wind type player who was 4 levels higher than her. If the gap between S-level and B-level is the top and the bottom of the mountain, then F-level and A-level are the sky and the earth. E-level abilities are considered useless abilities. F-level, I don't even dare to think about it. Although the people off the court were booing and laughing, Susanoo didn't, because she had seen Yuan An's strength and knew that he was definitely not as simple as he looked. But it didn't mean that Yuan An was very powerful. Do you want to admit defeat? Anyway, you lost to me last time, so you should lose to me this time too. I'm too lazy to do it. Save your spiritual power for the next game. Looking at Susanoo, who had a bit of anger on her face, Yuan An suddenly said with a soft smile. Susanoo sneered, "Humph, you were just lucky last time, and I was unprepared. This time, I will let you see my true strength. And don't worry, I will defeat you as quickly as possible, so that you don't have to work hard to play the remaining 8 games." It is a common practice to say a few harsh words to each other before the competition. Then, the referee gave an order, "Begin. Ice 1,000 miles." Almost the moment the referee's voice fell, Susanoo took action. A dense field of ice spikes shot out. Yuan An quickly pulled out the standard short knife behind him, which was inlaid with a 4th level advanced thunder demon core. With just one knife, with the flashing of cold light and the flashing of electric arcs, the ice spikes were instantly smashed into pieces. Because there are still 8 games to play, Yuan An has to preserve his physical strength as much as possible, and at the same time, he can't expose his trump cards too much. Until this competition, he has paid attention to the points of the colleges that have completed the competition before. The highest among them is to win 7 games. Now there is only their game left, and the one between Shengsha College and Linghe College. The gap between Shengsha College and Linghe College is not too big, and the odds of winning or losing should be 60-40, with a certain probability of 30-70. Assuming it is 30-70, then 2 colleges have won 7 games. If Shengsha College wants to maintain its good performance, it must at least win 7 games. 7 games is not a small pressure for Yuan An, so he has to save some energy. Dang dang dang. The ice spikes were shattered by Yuan An's sword, but Susanoo's figure disappeared on the spot. "How dare you be distracted when facing this girl?" A cold voice sounded from behind, and Susanoo came quickly, condensing a long ice sword in her hand, and rushed straight to Yuan An. Can Yuan An indulge her? And close combat is his strong point. Sharingan. The 3 Magatama Sharingan appeared, and Yuan An held a short knife, accurately spread out Susanoo's long ice sword, and then quickly attacked the weakest flaw in her defense. But Susanoo was also experienced in combat. She quickly drew her sword back and sped up, stabbing out several times in 1 second. Each sword was accompanied by a diffuse chill, trying to use this method to make Yuan An suffer. Little did she know that no matter how fast she drew her sword, or how chilly it was invisible to Yuan An's Sharingan. Zila. The lightning demon core on the blade emitted the power of lightning, directly evaporating the diffuse chill. At the same time, facing Susanoo's sword, Yuan An's deep pupil power accurately captured her every move, and then with just one sword, dang. The ice sword in Susanoo's hand was knocked out. She was startled, reacted quickly, and decisively pulled away. She pushed with her palm, ice purgatory. Catcher. The extreme chill caused the surrounding temperature to drop suddenly, and quickly spread to the entire competition field. Even the audience outside the field could feel the creepy chill. A-level ice system, plus the strength of level 10 of the 3rd stage, is really amazing. Feeling the increasingly dense cold air around him, Yuan An's eyes gradually became solemn. Even the ground under his feet turned into a piece of frost. Zumi, this little girl, has cultivated her coldness well. On the high tower, Muleo looked at Susanoo's performance and was very satisfied. A-level ice system is already a very rare supernatural power. Others were also surprised by Susanoo's coldness. She can actually create such coldness, too strong. As expected of the strongest student of Basin Academy, this is comparable to level 1 of the 4th stage. Now the entire trial field is my domain. Take it. Susanoo's seal changed again, and the ice covering the ground quickly condensed into a group of ferocious ice beasts, roaring and rushing towards Yuan An. Alas, it seems that I can't even save some energy. Looking at Susanoo's offensive, Yuan An sighed helplessly, and put away the dagger. After all, Susanoo is the ace player of Basin Academy. If he doesn't take action, he really can't handle it. Pop. Yuan An clasped his hands together and activated the intermediate secret of wood release. Whatever you shout, it will come true. Wood release. Tree world birth. As the spiritual power in his body madly dissipated, countless sturdy trees grew out in an instant, and with vigorous energy and vitality, they directly broke through Susanoo's ice field, turning into a vast sea of forests, swallowing up the groups of ice beasts together. Is this a wood type ability? Looking at the trees that instantly grew into a sea of forests, Susanoo was dumbfounded. Her ice fighting spirit was nothing in front of this surging vitality. Impossible, I can't lose to you? Susanoo gritted her teeth and let out an unwilling low roar. The spiritual power in her body gushed out madly, trying to freeze the wood release directly with cold air. But the result was that Yuan An's wood release easily broke her cold air, and the sturdy trees flew out and hit her heavily. Bang! Susanoo's delicate body fell off the competition stage like a leaf in the wind. Second round, Sharingan College, Yuan An wins. Chapter 105, Playing Illusion in front of the Sharingan. I was instantly defeated by one glance. The second match, Sharingan College, Yuan An wins. Looking at Susanoo who was knocked off the stage, and then looking at the lush forest sea on the field, the whole audience was shocked. Is this an F-level ability? Whose F-level ability is so powerful? Yuan An's level is originally lower than Susanoo, and his ability level is far inferior to Susanoo's A-level ice system. But why did it end like this? Exclamation mark. On the high tower, Yuan An's wood escape also made Muleo open his eyes wide. I haven't seen such a vibrant and vast wood system for a long time. This kid is quite interesting. This is no longer the power that an F-level ability can show, right? Beijingshan is not stupid. He can see at a glance that the power of Yuan An's wood escape is very inconsistent with the power of the F-level wood system. Whether it is or not, this kid is quite interesting. He has 8 more matches to go. Maybe he can really become the first legend in history to replace 9 people and win all of them. Muleo said with a smile. Mr. Mew, do you think he can win the next 8 matches? Beijingshan was surprised. Although Yuan An's performance in this match was amazing, but his opponents were all elites of the 100 Battles Academy, and their strength was not necessarily weaker than Susanoo. Even if Yuan An's strength was stronger than it seemed, it would still be too difficult for him to win 8 matches in a row. This is just a guess. How about we bet and see who is more accurate? Mr. Mew laughed. Beijingshan laughed and said, hahaha, Mr. Mew is interested, so I can. Then I bet that Yuan An can't win all the matches. Then I bet that he can. Susanoo was a little confused now and didn't understand why she was beaten off the field. She obviously hadn't even tried her best. She was completely squeezed off by Yuan An's wood release. Thank you. Yuan An didn't forget to finish her off, which made her so angry that her teeth itched. I don't accept it. Susanoo shouted. You have to accept it, even if you don't want to. The speaker was the referee on the field, who directly stopped Susanoo's resentment. In the past competitions, there were many people who were unwilling to accept the loss. But here, the only rule is that if you lose, and you have to hold back your anger. Please leave and don't affect the next contestant. The referee said. Humph. Susanoo stomped her feet unwillingly, then turned away angrily. Even though she was extremely unwilling to accept it, she was not stupid enough to make a scene here and go against the rules of the competition. It was just that, after returning to the team of Basin Academy, she whispered to the other contestants who were going to play next, beat him to death. Don't show mercy. Don't worry, senior sister, we will help you teach him a lesson. Yes, we will definitely help senior sister get revenge. Others expressed their determination enthusiastically. Susanoo left, but Yuan An was still standing on the stage because he had to continue the competition. The third match between Sharingan Academy and Basin Academy, level 6 Yuan An, wood element, F level, spirit eye element, F level, vs level 8 Linzu, illusion element, A level, another rare level, and its illusion element. Basin Academy is really strong. Yuan An had to admit that Basin Academy was very strong. There were already 2 A levels in Sharingan Academy, except for Yuan Yu, who was accidentally awakened as a level 3S. There was not even a single A level. Basin Academy had already released 2 A levels in a row. Linzu is an A level illusion element, very strong, and if he is not an illusion element, it would be difficult for ordinary people to deal with him. Fang Weifeng and others were also analyzing the battle situation. They chose to put their last hope on Yuan An, but they also had to reasonably analyze the opponent's strength. Fu Lingshan, the dean of Basin Academy on the opposite side, was angry after seeing his daughter lose. Now it was Linzu's turn to play. Fu Lingshan sneered, non-illusion mages are already at a disadvantage against illusion mages, and once they are injured by illusion mages, it is basically impossible to maintain their combat effectiveness in the next few games. This time, I want to see how your Sharingan Academy can regain its face. Boy, I admire your courage to fight 9 of us alone. But don't think you are great just because you used some tricks to win the world. I'm from the illusion major. Have you ever fought against illusion mages? Do you know how powerful illusion mages are? Linzu sneered. The most powerful thing about illusion is that it does not require close combat or physical contact. It only takes a few seconds to decide the outcome. And my illusion is the strongest in our Basin Academy. It is your honor to witness my illusion today. Of course, I will not show mercy because you defeated our senior sister and brought shame to our Basin Academy. After the words fell, Linzu's spiritual power began to condense, and then with a movement of the hand seal, the special spiritual power of illusion began to derive fluctuations. Illusion, mind devouring. The invisible spiritual power was like a big net, instantly covering the entire ring, leaving Yuan An nowhere to hide. Mind devouring is Linzu's best and strongest illusion, which can drag a person's mind and consciousness into darkness and make him lose his fighting ability on the spot. If it is the first time to fight, almost no one at the same level can come out of his illusion. Fu Lingshan was very proud. Linzu is one of the top 3 students in their Basin Academy. Susanoo in front is one, and there is another one behind. In terms of strength, Linzu is not weaker than Susanoo at all. But what they don't know is that illusion is also what Yuan An is best at. Feeling the illusion performed by Linzu, Yuan An's Sharingan condensed, and the pupil power surged out. Boom. Linzu's eyes widened. At that moment, his mind devouring was bounced back by Yuan An's Sharingan. The result was that after Linzu let out a miserable cry of ah, he, who was still arrogant and threatening a second ago, immediately fell to the ground. It took only 1 second. The whole audience was silent. What happened? Why did Linzu fall to the ground? I don't know. At this moment, almost no one knew what happened. Even the referee was confused, thinking that this was some kind of tactic of Linzu. Until Yuan An reminded him, the winner has been decided. Why are you still standing there? Oh. The referee checked Linzu's condition belatedly and confirmed that he was temporarily unconscious and announced the result. In the third game, Yuan An of Sharingan College won. As soon as these words came out, an uproar immediately set off. We haven't seen anything yet, and the winner has been decided? No, although we didn't see it, everything has already happened. Illusion. It's an illusion. Yuan An must have used an illusion. This guy, he can even use illusions? Chapter 106. One man wins 9 games in a row. Linzu was carried away. When the people from Basin Academy came on stage and lifted him up, he woke up from the illusion and was still shouting in confusion. What happened? What are you doing? I haven't even finished the fight yet. Why are you carrying me away? Even his classmates felt embarrassed and couldn't bear to watch. Next, it's the third one. Yuan An was standing on the stage. After the third game, he didn't even move a step, just standing there. The others also changed from disbelief, ridicule, and looking at fools at the beginning to surprise, shock and disbelief. If defeating Susanoo was good luck, then what about defeating Linzu? Is winning 2 games in a row also good luck? The following competitions allowed everyone to witness Yuan An's terrifying strength in the 4th match of Sharingan College vs. Basin College. Level 6 Yuan An, Wood Element, F Level, Spirit Eye Element, F Level, vs Level 8 Shilin, Fire Element, B Level. Sharingan College, Yuan An wins. In the 5th match of Sharingan College vs. Basin College, Level 6 Yuan An, Wood Element, F Level, Spirit Eye Element, F Level, vs Level 6 Wan Yang, Beast Taming Element, C Level. Sharingan College, Yuan An wins. In the 6th match of Sharingan College vs. Basin College Sharingan College, Yuan An wins. In the 7th match of Sharingan College vs. Basin College in the 8th match and the 9th match in the 10th match. Yuan An wins. Yuan An wins. Yuan An wins. Yuan An wins. Everyone was dumbfounded as they watched the competitions one after another on the field and listened to the referee's almost identical words one after another. Yuan An, as a substitute, one person replaced 9 people and won all. What is this concept? Question mark? No matter what level the opponent is, no matter what kind of superpower the opponent has, it is useless in front of Yuan An. Including Susanoo, none of the 9 people from Basin Academy can last more than 5 minutes in front of Yuan An. In this round of competition, Sharingan Academy got the amazing record of all wins, and Basin Academy also got the amazing record of all losses for the first time. However, no one would think that Basin Academy is not strong enough, but that Yuan An is too fucking perverted. One person fights 9, and it's a round robin battle, all of which are quick and decisive. No one can fight Yuan An to equal, almost all of them are crushed. Hahaha, Jingshan, I told you, this kid can definitely win all. Muleo laughed. Beijingshan was already so shocked that he didn't know how to express it. He has lived for decades, what scenes have he not seen? But he has never seen this scene today. One person fights 9 and wins all. This is too terrifying. No one would believe it if I told them. But Yuan An did it. Old Fu, why do you look constipated? Did you eat too much good food last night? This time it was Fang Weifeng's turn to mock Fu Lingshan, and he mocked her happily. Thank you for letting us win. This is the first time that Sharingan College has won all the points. This should be the first time that you have lost all the points, right? So, we are both first, which is pretty good. The more miserable he was mocked before, the more satisfied he is now. The people of Sharingan College finally released the resentment that they had been holding back for so long. Sure enough, Yuan An is their savior. Fu Lingshan was so angry that he couldn't say a word. The more satisfied he was when he mocked Fang Weifeng before, the more frustrated he is now. Things change. This round of competition has not ended yet. The last game is between Shangsha College and Linghai College. The strength of both sides is not much different, and there is no situation like Yuan An where one person replaces 9 people. And it is also very exciting. But no matter how exciting the competition between Shangsha College and Linghai College is, the protagonist today is destined to be Yuan An. His record can be said to be unprecedented, and it is estimated that there will be no success in the future, because the Shangsha Alliance has decided that one person can only substitute one person in the same game in the future, and will not let Yuan An's situation happen again. Otherwise, it will really affect the competition. With the end of the last battle, the ranking was updated again. In the first round of the second half, the first place in the college was undoubtedly Sharingan College. 10 wins, far ahead. Sharingan College also relied on this competition to raise its overall ranking from 6th to 4th. Seeing this result, Fang Weifeng finally breathed a sigh of relief. 4th place, just continue to maintain 4th place in the future. As for the individual points ranking, Yuan An's name appeared for the first time, and he directly soared to 2nd place. The first place is still Huang Yu. Yuan An was only outstanding in this competition, but Huang Yu performed very well in the first 3 rounds of competition, and Yuan An could not shake him for the time being. After this round of competition, everyone went back to rest obediently. There will be another competition tomorrow, and it will also be the last one. After this competition, the college competition will come to a perfect end. But today's topic is already hot enough, and everyone is discussing Yuan An's performance enthusiastically. Yuan An returned to his room, had dinner, and then went to take a shower early. It was actually nothing for him to play 9 games in a row today, but there was still a crucial game tomorrow, so he must not be careless and still have to rest early. After taking a shower, Yuan An opened the quilt and lay down without even looking. The shy cry of the girl came from the quilt, which scared Yuan An so much that he jumped up all of a sudden. He quickly opened the quilt and saw Huang Yu hiding in his quilt at some point. Xiao Yu, when did you come? You didn't say a word. You're going to scare me to death. He was a little angry. I just wanted to say goodnight to you and scare you, by the way. The girl sat up a little aggrieved, her little face a little red. You're scaring me to death. Go back to sleep if you have nothing to do. Yuan An scolded. Oh. The girl pouted reluctantly, got out of bed, and put on her shoes. But before turning around, Huang Yu mustered up the courage to look at Yuan An, blinked his eyes, and said, "Brother, can you give me a goodnight kiss?" Yuan An frowned. "What goodnight kiss? Where did you learn these messed up things?" Seeing that he would not agree, Huang Yu suddenly came to Yuan An, tiptoed, and kissed him gently on the face. Then I'll give you a goodnight kiss. Go to bed early." The girl smiled and left contentedly. Only Yuan An was left touching his face, feeling that he was being taken advantage of again. Chapter 107, Sudden Change, Abyss Tower. Beijing, as the only referee of this college competition, not only had to watch the competition during the day, but also had to summarize today's situation with other referees and officials of the Shengsha Alliance at night, and discuss the next day's procedures. And Yuan An's performance during the day is undoubtedly worth discussing. But the topic tonight is not to discuss the situation of the student competition, but other things. Mr. Mew, according to the report from the front line, there have been a lot of movements in the abyss recently, and there has been news from Qianlin City that the recent beast tide has obviously increased. It may be a precursor to the outbreak of the abyss beast tide. Do we need to make some preparations? Beijing said. Everyone looked at Mr. Mew. Because this old guy with a completely white beard is the biggest stabilizer in their hearts. Abyss? Elder Mew tapped his fingers lightly on the table. We have never relaxed our defense against the abyss. We just need to continue to follow the current defense plan. As for other preparations, we can make some. Cancel the content of the last round of competition tomorrow and change it to the abyss tower. Elder Mew's understated words surprised everyone, including Beijing. Abyss tower. Elder Mew, are you sure? Yes, Elder Mew, this is just a college competition. Isn't it a little dangerous to use the abyss tower? Everyone was puzzled. Elder Mew smiled easily and said, I know you are worried about those little guys. But the abyss is our biggest enemy. They will have to face the abyss in the future. It's not a bad thing to let them adapt to it earlier. Let's decide it this way. The content of tomorrow's trial will be changed to the abyss tower. Everyone knew that Elder Mew would not change his decision easily, so they didn't continue to persuade him. Should we notify all the colleges first? No, we'll notify them tomorrow when everyone is together. It's so late now, go back to sleep. The last match is particularly important. It not only determines the final ranking, but also is the final match. Some people want to perform better in the final match. Some people want to finish the match quickly and go home to sleep. Everyone came to the competition field early. Today is a team competition. Only 5 people can play. The others just follow the rhythm of Yuan An and Huang Yu. Understand? Fang Weifeng was still explaining the rules to the other 3 people who were going to play. It was only later that I realized that the atmosphere on the field today seemed a little wrong. Not as lively as yesterday. Are you all here? Beijing walked out of the tower, his voice loud and clear, echoing in everyone's ears. Today is the last round of our college competition. I believe everyone is looking forward to this round of competition. But before the competition begins, there are some changes in the content of this last round of competition. I need to explain to you. The originally planned team competition has been cancelled and changed to the Abyss Tower trial. As soon as this was said, everyone was shocked. Most people were surprised by the sudden change in the content of the competition. Because the content of the competition was determined before the start, there has never been a sudden change in the content of the competition during the competition. Only a small number of people, Fang Weifeng and others, they were not surprised by the sudden change in the content of the competition, but that the changed content of the competition was actually the Abyss Tower. It turned out to be the Abyss Tower. What is Mr. Mew doing? Fang Weifeng murmured. What is the Abyss Tower? The other students said they didn't understand. The Abyss Tower is similar to the Trial Tower in our academy. The content of the trial is also very simple. It is to see who reaches the highest level. But the difference between the Abyss Tower and the Trial Tower is that the Abyss Tower is full of Abyss monsters. These Abyss monsters are the Abyss monsters we have captured over the years for the purpose of studying the Abyss. Some of them are the Abyss monsters that we could not kill and could only seal. Fang Weifeng's explanation made the faces of others change. All of them are Abyss monsters? and some of them are abyss monsters that cannot be killed and can only be sealed? Question mark. Is this really a trial they can participate in? The principals of other academies also explained to their students one after another, and a low atmosphere filled the crowd. Although they often heard the word abyss and had seen real abyss monsters, it was also because they had seen real abyss monsters that they knew the horror of abyss monsters even more. The abyss is the enemy of us humans, and we cannot avoid fighting with the abyss. The best way to eliminate fear is to face it head on. You should have all seen real abyss monsters, so don't be too stressed. The abyss tower is also an abyss monster. There is no difference. Beijing Shen's words sounded very loud in the silent field at this moment. Let me now talk about the trial rules of the abyss tower. 5 contestants from all academies enter the abyss tower at the same time, and each person will enter a separate space to fight the abyss monster. For each level you pass, you can get points for the corresponding level. For example, 1 point for the first level, 2 points for the second level, 3 points for the third level, and so on. Finally, the total points will be used as the ranking to determine the comprehensive ranking. During the trial, we will give each of you a space stone. If you encounter danger during the trial, you can crush the space stone to automatically come out. Do you understand? Beijing Shen's words received a neat response. Understood. Okay, you still have 5 minutes to prepare. In 5 minutes, the trial will start on time. The deans of each college took this opportunity to quickly tell their students what to pay attention to. Remember, the most important thing to fight against the abyss monsters is to overcome their abyss domain. If you overcome it, you will win half the battle. But if you really can't beat them, you can come out. No one will blame you, understand? Fang Weifeng's words made everyone nod. Yuan An didn't feel anything about this abyss tower. He even felt that it was just what he wanted. He was a person who had been to the real abyss, so there was nothing to be afraid of. At this time, a soft little hand suddenly got into his palm. Yuan An was stunned for a moment and saw Huang Yu next to him. So this girl would be afraid too? He wanted to laugh a little, but Huang Yu whispered, "Brother, don't have a psychological shadow when facing the abyss monsters. You must overcome difficulties." The girl's soft and boneless little hand held his hand, but it was comforting. She was not afraid herself, but worried that Yuan An would have a shadow when facing the abyss monsters. Although Yuan An told her very easily at the beginning, she knew that Yuan An must not be relaxed. This girl. Yuan An felt warm in his heart, and he also held her little hand and said, "Don't worry, I'm fine. You should also pay attention to safety." Yeah. Chapter 108, The Evolution of the Abyss Wolf. The content of the last round of competition was suddenly changed to the Abyss Tower, and no one was mentally prepared. In addition, after their respective deans introduced the Abyss Tower to them, they became even more nervous. Abyss monsters, and the Abyss monsters in the Abyss Tower, are much stronger than the Abyss monsters in their respective entrance examinations. This is no joke. Time is up. All students please enter the Abyss Tower in an orderly manner, and start the trial. Beijing Shen's words rang out loudly, and the entrance under the tower opened. Although nervous, the students entered one by one. Yuan An and Huang Yu entered in turn. After the white space light flashed, Yuan An was transferred to a trial field alone. It was a dim scene. The sky was gloomy, lightning and thunder, and the atmosphere was depressing. Opposite him was a level 3 abyss demon snake of the 3rd level. The first level is a level 3 abyss monster, which is also quite difficult. Yuan An was surprised. The level 3 abyss monster of the 3rd level is as difficult as the level 4 or 5 ordinary monsters of the 3rd level. It's not that difficult for the students of the 4 major colleges, but for the students of the ordinary colleges behind, the level 3 abyss monsters of the 3rd order are too difficult. Starting from the 10 or so colleges behind, the strongest students among them are only level 5 or 6 of the 3rd order, and the weakest students are even level 1 of the 3rd order. This first level may screen out a lot of people. This familiar abyss breath is really nostalgic. Compared with the involuntary fear of the abyss monsters by others, Yuan An now feels that the breath of the abyss is not scary. Compared with the Azure Dragon Demon General at the beginning, these abyss monsters are nothing. But since it's an abyss monster, I'm too lazy to do it. Yuan An quickly formed seals with both hands, and then slapped the ground with one palm. Spiritual communication technique. Bang. After the white smoke, a huge demon wolf appeared. Abyss devouring demon wolf, level 10 of the third order. Yuan An sometimes didn't release the devouring demon wolf. The devouring demon wolf can obtain the supernatural powers of other monsters by devouring. After it devoured an abyss monster last time, it has also become an abyss level monster. But because of this, the abilities of ordinary monsters can no longer satisfy it, and only the abilities of abyss monsters can be devoured by it. It's just that abyss monsters are hard to come by, and the last time it was caught in the abyss by the Azure Dragon Demon General, it was actually a good opportunity. But at that time, Yuan An was eager to escape, and had no intention of summoning the devouring demon wolf. Now this abyss tower happens to be full of abyss monsters, and they are not very strong, which is a good place to upgrade the devouring demon wolf. Oh woo. The devouring demon wolf howled excitedly, looking at the abyss demon snake opposite, as if seeing a prey, with red eyes. The abyss demon snake also noticed it. Although both are abyss monsters, with such obvious hostility, the abyss demon snake will definitely not regard the devouring demon wolf as its companion. Hiss. The abyss demon snake took the initiative to attack, and its huge body shook, and it turned into a huge three-headed snake and rushed over. Roar. The devouring demon wolf's limbs burst with power, and it launched itself. With a leap, it bit the 7 inches of one of the abyss demon snake's heads. The severe pain made the abyss demon snake scream miserably, and the other 2 snake heads turned around and bit the devouring demon wolf fiercely. However, the devouring demon wolf's body was greatly strengthened, and it ignored the attack of the abyss demon snake. Its sharp claws and teeth directly tore its body apart and ate its flesh and blood. Ding. The spiritual beast devouring demon wolf successfully devoured the third level demon beast abyss demon snake. Obtained the superpower abyss clone. Abyss clone. It can split out a clone with 80% of the power of the original body, with a maximum of 3. Ding. Successfully killed the third level abyss demon beast, and gained 3300 experience. Yuan An can also gain experience when the spiritual beast kills the demon beast. The first level, cleared. The people outside were watching nervously. Because the Abyss Tower was suddenly changed, the Shengsha Alliance had not had time to broadcast the content in the Abyss Tower. No one could see the specific content inside, but could only see which person reached which floor. The Abyss Tower actually has not many floors, only 10. But these 10 floors are not so easy to pass. Just the first floor, 20 to 30 people were screened out. Jingshan, do you think anyone can pass the 5th floor? Asked Mu Leo on the high tower. Beijingshan thought for a moment. The abyss monsters on the 5th floor are already level 10 of the 3rd level, and the comprehensive difficulty reaches level 2 of the 4th level. I guess only the people at the top of the personal score list have a chance to pass. Mu Leo smiled. Haha, if the top 5 can pass, it's already very good. The 2nd floor. Yuan An is facing a level 5 abyss double-tailed wolf of the 3rd level this time. It actually rose to level 5 of the 3rd level in one floor. Isn't this a huge span? Even Yuan An was surprised by the huge span. It's okay for him, but for others, the difficulty has increased too much at once. Go. Yuan An was still watching the battle. With a command, the devouring demon wolf started fighting the abyss twin-tailed wolf on the opposite side. They were all wolves, and the devouring demon wolf seemed to look down on the twin-tailed wolf on the opposite side. It was a good wolf. Why did it have 2 tails? The devouring demon wolf directly split into 3 huge clones. The abyss clone. This was the power it had just devoured, and it was used now. The abyss clone had 80% of the power of the original body, and it was too easy to besiege an abyss twin-tailed wolf. A woo. A woo. With a burst of shrill screams, the abyss twin-tailed wolf was eaten by the devouring demon wolf before it had time to show off. Ding. The spiritual beast devouring demon wolf successfully devoured the 3rd level 5th level monster abyss twin-tailed wolf. Gained the power rip. Greatly increased the attack power and penetration of the claws. Successfully killed the 3rd level 5th level abyss monster and gained 3500 experience. With the devouring demon wolf, Yuan An didn't need to do it himself. The 3rd floor is a level 7 abyss cat demon. Ding. The spirit beast devouring demon wolf successfully devoured the level 7 abyss cat demon. Gained the ability sprint. Sprint, greatly improved speed and dodge ability, successfully killed the level 7 Abyss Demon, and gained 3700 experience points. The 4th floor is a level 9 Abyss Vampire Bat. Ding. The Spirit Beast Devouring Demon Wolf successfully devoured the level 9 Abyss Vampire Bat. Gained the ability Bloodsucking. Bloodsucking, you can replenish your own strength by absorbing the enemy's blood and spiritual power. Successfully killed the level 9 Abyss Demon and gained 3900 experience points. Congratulations to the host for successfully reaching level 7 of the 3rd stage. Right square bracket. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 109, a height that belongs to one person alone. In the Abyss Tower today, everyone's progress is different. Many people were screened out on the 1st floor, and dozens of people were screened out on the 2nd floor as well. There are bound to be more people screened out on each floor. Now most people are still fighting on the 2nd floor. People like Yuan An, Susanoo and others are attacking the 3rd floor, and their progress is already the best. But there is one person who is progressing the fastest, Yuan An. He has already crossed the 4th floor and started to attack the 5th floor. He has already passed the 4th floor. This little guy's speed is good. Muleo nodded with satisfaction. Only when he can reach the 5th floor can he meet his requirements. It seems that we have made a mistake this time. The real trump card of Sharingan College is not the triple S level Yuan An, but this double F level Yuan An. Beijing Shen was also surprised. If Yuan An's amazing record of 1 substitute for 9 in the last round can make them really start to pay attention to such a young man, then now, the progress of the Abyss Tower has allowed them to see Yuan An's true potential. The information on the ranking list has also been refreshed. 1st place, Sharingan College, 35 points. 2nd place, Shengsha College, 34 points. 3rd place, Beijing College, 31 points. 4th place, Linghai College, 30 points. 5th place, Zhenhai College, 22 points. 6th place, Zhenshan College, 20 points. This time, the points of the 4 colleges showed real dominance. The other 3 colleges pulled up their points by relying on their overall strength. The main reason why Sharingan College ranked first was that Yuan An's progress was too fast. Every time he cleared a level, he would get a few more points. 3 people from Sharingan College were eliminated in the 1st level. 2 people were eliminated in the 2nd level. 3 people were eliminated in the 3rd level. Now only Yuan An and Yuan An are still holding on. There are not many people in the other 3 colleges. There are 4 people left in Shengsha College. There are 3 people left in Beijing College. There are 3 people left in Linghai College. It doesn't really matter how many people were eliminated in the front, because the points in the front levels are very small. The most important thing to determine the ranking of an academy is how many people have passed the higher level. This is the key. The 5th level. Yuan An looked at the level 10 Abyss Spider in front of him, still standing aside and watching the show, letting the devouring demon wolf take action. The 2 were both level 10 of the level 3, and the fight was evenly matched. But although the devouring demon wolf was also level 10 of the level 3, it had already swallowed more than a dozen superpowers, and its combat power was far beyond the ordinary level 10 of the level 3. After only 5 minutes of fighting, the Abyss Spider had all its legs bitten off by the devouring demon wolf, and then its body was torn apart, and its flesh and blood was sucked. The devouring snow wolf was also slightly injured, but using the blood-sucking superpower, by sucking the blood and spiritual power of the Abyss Spider, all the injuries were healed. Ding. The spiritual beast devouring demon wolf successfully devoured the level 10 demon beast Abyss Spider of the level 3. Obtained the superpower Spider Barrier. Spider Barrier, it can form a huge spider web barrier. Once stuck by the spider web, it is difficult to get out. Successfully killed the level 10 Abyss Demon Beast of the level 3 and gained 4000 experience. Ding. Abyss Devouring Demon Wolf successfully upgraded to level 4, level 1. Ding. Congratulations to the host for successfully upgrading to level 3, level 7. Abyss monsters have a lot of experience, 10 times that of ordinary monsters. After this round, not only did the devouring demon wolf upgrade, but Yuan An also upgraded by 1 level. Sure enough, the abyss monster is the best monster for leveling up. Yuan An stretched his muscles. After all, it was tiring to stand all the time. Let's go to the next level. He passed the 5th level. Not bad. This time, Muleo's eyes showed a look of relief. Only by successfully passing the 5th level can he be satisfied. Others are also watching the clearance of the Abyss Tower. They don't know the specific level of the monsters in the Abyss Tower, but they can be inferred, based on the progress of most people. Huang Yu and others are still on the 4th level, which means that the 4th level is difficult. But Yuan An has already cleared the 5th level. Is the gap in strength between the two sides so big? That's just a double F level ability. After Yuan An cleared the 5th floor, Huang Yu also successfully passed the 4th floor and began to head to the 5th floor. Others also began to pass the 4th floor one after another and began to attack the 5th floor. 3 people were also screened out on the 4th floor. Now there are only 3 people left in Shengsha Academy and 2 people in the other 3 academies. A total of 9 people are still on the field. The remaining 221 people were all eliminated. On the 6th floor, there is a 4th level 1 abyss crab. On the 7th floor, there is a 4th level 3 abyss lobster. On the 8th floor, there is a 4th level 5 abyss octopus. On the 9th floor, there is a 4th level 7 abyss scorpion. After the 5th floor, the difficulty of each subsequent floor suddenly increased. The devouring demon wolf alone could not handle it, so Yuan An had to take action. Although it was a bit difficult, the man and the beast joined forces, but they still made it all the way to the 9th floor and cut off the tail of the abyss scorpion on the 9th floor. It screamed in pain and was finally eaten by the devouring demon wolf. This is already the 9th floor. There are only 10 floors in the abyss tower. The 10th floor should be a heavyweight boss, right? According to the usual practice, it would be unreasonable not to have a stronger monster on the last floor. This kid, he even made it to the 9th floor. At this moment, outside the tower, everyone was shocked to see Yuan An's progress. Now, Yuan An was the only one left in the entire abyss tower. Among the top 5 in the personal scoreboard, apart from Yuan An, only Huang Yu also passed the 5th floor with a difficult battle, but fell on the 6th floor. The others fell on the 5th floor. Yuan An's progress was surprising in the first place. Originally, it was thought that he would fall at most on the 6th or 7th floor, but he actually made it all the way to the 9th floor. This progress even shocked the people of the Shengsha Alliance. This kid, how could he make it to such a high level? No one knew the horror of the monsters in the Abyss Tower better than them, so they were more shocked than anyone else. The 9th floor was already a 4th order, level 7 Abyss monster. Even in the Shengsha Alliance, not many people can win in such a short time. But Yuan An did it. And he is not done yet. There is still one last level waiting for him. After passing the 9th level, with a burst of light, Yuan An was transferred to the 10th level. It was still the same scene, with lightning and thunder, a dim sky, and a solemn atmosphere. The air was filled with a chilling breath. But the situation in front of him surprised Yuan An. Right in front of him, countless huge crosses were tied with creatures. There were humans and monsters, and there were dozens of them. It's the breath of a living person. A living person. Ha 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 ha. Boy, come here. Come here. Let us eat you. Chapter 110. The competition is over. First place. Boy, come here. Come here and let me taste you. I haven't eaten the flesh and blood of a living person for 300 years. The noisy voice was like the spell of an evil spirit, with a kind of impact that went straight to the soul, making Yuan An feel that there were 10,000 ants in his brain gnawing at his soul the first moment he heard it. What is this? The scene in front of him made his scalp tingle. In the vast scene, there were crosses tied up, and many things were locked on them with sealing chains. Why do you say things? Because the things sealed on these crosses are not the same. There are monsters with 2 heads, 3 eyes, and 4 legs. There are humans with hideous faces, broken hands and feet, and only a body is left. There are even creatures with only a head left, or simply a group of wriggling creatures, and it is impossible to tell what they belong to. These things have only one thing in common, that is, they contain extremely strong auras of the abyss. These auras are even stronger than those of the Azure Dragon Demon General. Yuan An hasn't made a move yet, just facing them, he feels like a mountain is pressing on him. Even though he activated his main Jaku Sharingan and entered Sage Mode, he was barely able to avoid being crushed by the pressure. The devouring demon wolf could no longer bear the pressure and disappeared in a puff of white smoke. This pressure, is it really the trial of the 10th floor? Are they really not going to let anyone pass? The Abyss Tower locked up some enemies that were captured from the Abyss and temporarily unkillable. After passing the first 9 floors, Yuan An still thought that the people of the Shengsha Alliance were scaring people. After all, the Abyss monsters in the first 9 floors were only a little stronger, but they were not unkillable at all. It was not until the 10th floor that Yuan An really saw how powerful the enemies that could be suppressed and sealed by the Abyss Tower were. These people were definitely extremely vicious demons. Just standing here facing them made him feel unprecedented pressure, and it was even difficult for him to take action. Not to mention passing the level. Anyone who could stand here for half an hour was a strong person. There is no doubt that the Shengsha Alliance did not intend to let anyone pass the 10th floor. Yuan An didn't want to stay here for too long, fearing that he would be crushed by such pressure, so he crushed the space jade and passed out. Outside, countless people were still expecting Yuan An to pass through the 10th floor and completely clear the Abyss Tower. But with a flash of light, seeing that Yuan An actually passed out, they all felt a little regretful. The highest record of others was to pass through the 5th floor. If Yuan An only passed through the 6th floor, some people would envy and be jealous, and some would not accept it. If he passed through the 7th floor, they would admire and be unbelievable. If he passed through the 8th floor, they would be shocked and out their lives. If he passed through the 9th floor, basically no one would envy and be jealous. The only emotion was to be deeply impressed and hope that Yuan An could pass through the 10th floor and create a legend. But now Yuan An has passed out, and he did not pass through the 10th floor, which made them feel a little regretful. Of course, if they knew what the situation was on the 10th floor, they would not think so. This kid, he can still be so calm after coming out of the 10th floor. Not bad. Muleo nodded, very satisfied. Of course, they knew what the 10th floor was like. It was originally for students to pass the level, but it was only used to test students' ability to withstand pressure. Now it seems that Yuan An's ability to withstand pressure is not bad. Brother, are you okay? Seeing Yuan An coming out of the Abyss Tower, Huang Yu hurried to meet him, his eyes full of concern. It's okay, I'm fine. Yuan An felt warm in his heart and reached out to touch the girl's head. Yuan An, you've worked hard. Fang Weifeng and others also came up, with smiles on their faces. Shengjing College's performance was completely brought back by Yuan An. It's not hard, it's all for the college. With Yuan An coming out, the last round of the competition was officially announced to end. The ranking was also undisputed, and Shengjing College won the first place. In the 3 rounds of competition in the first half, Shengjing College's final ranking dropped to 6th. But with the 2 first places in the second half, and the points were far ahead of the second place. In the face of the huge score difference, Shengjing College's final comprehensive ranking surpassed Shengsha College by 1 point and jumped to the first place. First place, Shengjing College, 91 points. Second place, Shengsha College, 90 points. Third place, Linghe College, 88 points. Fourth place, Beijing College, 85 points. The points of the 4 colleges are very close, but the real dark horse is Shengjing College. From only 60 points at the end of the first half, it suddenly counterattacked and surpassed Shengsha College. And all the credit is undoubtedly due to Yuan An alone. In addition, the individual rankings have also been updated. First place, Shengjing College, Yuan An, 100 points. Second place, Shengjing College, Huang Yu, 90 points. Third place, Shengsha College, Zia 87 points. Fourth place, Shengsha College, Wanfeng, 85 points. Fifth place, Linghe College, Zaolin, 83 points. The scores of the overall ranking are all in percentage. In previous college competitions, whether it is a college or an individual, being able to reach 90 points is basically the top 3. This time, the ranking of the colleges is similar. Only in the individual ranking, the big 100 points behind Yuan An attracted countless people's shocked eyes. 100 points? The Shengsha Alliance actually gave 100 points? This should be the first person to get 100 points in the history of the college competition. Too abnormal, so strong. No one thought that there was anything wrong with the 100 points. Whether it was the record of one person replacing 9 people and winning all the games, or reaching a height that no one could reach in the Abyss Tower, Yuan An took the lead with an absolutely brilliant record. And he also single-handedly turned the tide and pulled Shengjing College back from despair. With all these halos, Yuan An is undoubtedly the #1 individual in this session. On the high tower, Beijing began to announce the results of the competition. After review by our jury, we will now announce the final results of this college competition. First place in college ranking, Shengjing College. Second place, Shengsha College. Third place, Linghe College. Fourth place, Beijing College. First place in individual ranking, Yuan An of Shengjing College. Second place, Huangyu of Shengjing College. According to the rewards, all students from the top 4 colleges will be able to enter the God's Domain for training once. In addition, all participating students from the first ranked college will have a chance to be personally instructed by the God King once. All participating students from the second ranked college will have a chance to be personally instructed by the first commander once. All participating students from the third ranked college will have a chance to be personally instructed by the second commander once. The top 5 individuals will have a chance to study in the Shengsha Alliance's Supernatural Library. Chapter 111, Muleo Conversation. Ding. Congratulations to the host for winning the first place in the college competition. Task reward: 100,000 energy points. As Beijing announced the final result of the college competition, the system also determined that Yuan An had completed the task. 100,000 energy points arrived. Sure enough, the reward for the first place is the best. 100,000 energy points are enough for him to fuse the Eternal Mangekyou Sharingan. As long as he fuses the Eternal Mangekyou Sharingan, his strength will be able to rise again. The competition is over, but it is not completely over. After the competition, there is still a long process to receive rewards. Including the top 4 colleges can enter the God's Domain trial for free. The God's Domain is a secret realm of the Shengsha Alliance. It is the resting place of the strong men of the Shengsha Empire in the past generations. It contains a lot of spiritual power and perception. As long as you enter, you have a chance to gain perception. If you can get the inheritance of a certain strong man, you can soar directly into the sky. In history, there were 3 people in the Shengsha Empire who obtained the complete inheritance of the strong in the realm of God, and their levels soared directly from the 3rd level to the 5th level, becoming a generation of strong men in the Shengsha Empire. Even if you can't get the complete inheritance, you will benefit a lot from getting a part of it. The competition is over. The rewards of the competition need to go to Killin City to be redeemed. Please go to Killin City on time in 5 days. Beijing's words rang again, and also announced the temporary end of the competition process. Everyone applauded warmly. As the gorgeous fireworks bloomed in the sky, the various colleges began to leave in an orderly manner. Everyone in Shengjing College was also ready to leave. At this time, Beijing came. To be precise, he came to find Yuan An. Dean Fang, can you please borrow this student of yours? Beijing smiled. Yuan An was stunned for a moment. Borrow to use, this use, is it serious? Fang Weifeng was very straightforward and said, Commander Bei has something to do, so of course it's okay. Yuan An, you can go with Commander Bei. Okay. Yuan An followed obediently. Before leaving, Beijing did not forget to say one more sentence. By the way, Dean Fang, you can go back directly without waiting. After we finish talking, we will personally send him back. Oh, okay, then I'll have to trouble Commander Bei again. The people around were very envious when they saw Yuan An being called in alone. There is no doubt that this must be because Yuan An's performance was too good and needed to be praised separately. It's so enviable. Yuan An followed Beijing all the way to the high tower. Everyone else had already left, and there was only one old man left on the high platform. Mr. Mu, Yuan An is here. Beijing said. Student Yuan An, meet Mr. Mu. Yuan An bowed obediently. He didn't know Mr. Mew, but there was probably only one person in the entire Shengsha Empire who could be treated with such respect by Beijing, the God King. Haha, little guy, sit down. Elder Mew smiled kindly and personally poured a cup of tea for Yuan An, which made him feel very terrified. Elder Mew's aura was very gentle, but there was a kind of high-handed pressure that made people dare not be rude. I wonder what Elder Mew wants to ask you to come here? Yuan An asked. Then I'll tell you directly. You have already reached the 10th floor of the Abyss Tower. What did you see? Elder Mew asked. Yuan An didn't expect that he was asked to come here because of this matter. After a little thought, he told the truth. I saw a lot of sealed Abyss enemies. They are very powerful. I'm no match for them at all. Haha, of course you are not a match. The ones sealed there are all the big demons that we have captured from the Abyss over the years and cannot be eliminated. Each of them has caused great harm to us humans. Muleo laughed. In all these years, you are the first one to break into the 10th floor of the Abyss Tower with your own strength and see those monsters. You also personally feel their power. I asked you to come here to tell you not to tell others about the situation on the 10th floor of the Abyss Tower casually. At the same time, I also hope that you can be inspired by it, work hard to become stronger, and strive to become a strong man in our Shengsha Empire as soon as possible. Facing Muleo's earnest teachings, Yuan An nodded like a good student, not daring to have any objections. I heard from Fang Weifeng that you are the only survivor among the students who carried out the task of destroying the Abyss teleportation array, right? Muleo suddenly changed the subject. Yes. And I also heard that you were captured in the Abyss, and it took a lot of effort to escape. Maybe my will to survive was strong enough, so I managed to escape. Yuan An didn't dare to tell a lie about these things. Then did you find any useful information in the Abyss? Even Beijing was attracted to this topic. There are almost no people who can come out of the Abyss alive. Speaking of this topic, Yuan An remembered, there is a little clue. I was captured in the camp of a demon general, and many humans were captured together. According to the information I learned, they were all captured by the Abyss to study the weaknesses of us humans. At that time in Lancheng, he was not the only one captured, but at that time he could hardly protect himself, so he didn't have much thought to save others, nor did he go deep into the situation. Muleo nodded. In recent years, many people have indeed been captured by the Abyss. We capture people from the Abyss for a search, and they also capture our people for a search. It's not surprising. Knowing yourself and the enemy will lead to victory in every battle. This truth is not only understood by them. Okay, nothing's left for now. I'm sorry for taking you so long. Mr. Mew, you're too polite. Jingshan, help send him back. Don't delay him too long. Yes. Beijing brought Yuan An up and took him down. As soon as he came out of the tower, Yuan An saw a girl standing under a tree not far away. She was slender and pretty. Xiao, why haven't you left yet? I'm waiting for you here. Seeing Yuan An coming out, Huang Yu hurriedly came up to him with a smile and took his arm and did not forget to greet Beijing beside him. Hello, Commander Bei. Beijing smiled and nodded. Well, since you are still here, I will send you back together. Although Yuan An performed the best, Huang Yu performed well. Beijing's attitude towards her was also very good. Everyone else had left. Beijing personally sent the two to the teleportation tower, and then ordered the people in the teleportation tower to send them back to Shengjing College. Goodbye, Commander Bei. Goodbye, Commander Bei. The two waved goodbye to Beijing. Beijing smiled and waved his hand in response. See you in Killin City in 5 days. Chapter 112, Fusion, Eternal Manjaki Sharingan. Do you want to fuse the Eternal Manjaki Sharingan? Fusion. Deduct 100,000 energy points and start fusing the Eternal Manjaki Sharingan. 10%, 20%, 50%, 80%, 100%. Fusion successful. Congratulations to the host for successfully fusing the Eternal Manjaki Sharingan and upgrading to the 3rd stage, level 10. As the system's voice fell, Yuan An slowly opened his eyes. The Scarlet Sharingan outlined a deep hexagram pattern and exuded an icy eternal pupil power. At this moment, Yuan An felt that his eyes had infinite possibilities. Any enemy would be exposed in front of these eyes. Is this the eternal Mangeki Sharingan? Such a powerful pupil power is really exciting. Yuan An couldn't help but immerse himself in this eternal pupil power. With these eyes, his combat effectiveness has also made an unprecedented leap. If he were to go to the 10th floor of the Abyss Tower to face those monsters now, maybe he would be able to take a step forward and show his strength. Of course, he would definitely not be able to defeat them. Although the eternal Mangeki Sharingan is powerful, it is not invincible. Brother, are you still not up? There was a knock on the door, and the girl's voice was also heard. Yuan An put away his thoughts, his eyes returned to normal, and he got up reluctantly. They had returned to Shangjing College from Lihuo City yesterday, after completing the college competition. Yuan An is Xia Zuling's student. Huang Yu is also Xia Zuling's student. This was Huang Yu's choice at the beginning, because Yuan An's teacher was Xia Zuling, so she had to choose Xia Zuling. As students of Xia Zuling, they naturally lived in the same dormitory. Yuan An's room originally had a living room and 3 bedrooms. When Huang Yu came, he naturally lived in the room opposite him. So early in the morning, this girl came to knock on the door. The door is not locked, come in. After saying that, Yuan An lay down again. It's a rare holiday, who would get up so early? With a creak, the door opened, and Huang Yu's petite body tiptoed in. Seeing Yuan An still lying in bed, the girl wrinkled her nose and complained, "It's so late, and you're still not getting up. Brother is a big lazy pig. Isn't it a holiday today? Which student gets up early on a holiday?" Yuan An enjoyed the feeling of waking up but still being able to continue sleeping. It was so damn comfortable and cozy. Then you can't do this. You can't be too lazy. Huang Yu reached out and pulled Yuan An's quilt without hesitation. The cool breath forced Yuan An to wake up again. "Hurry up, Teacher Xia has prepared breakfast. Get up and eat." Okay, get up." Yuan An was also annoyed and had to get up. After a simple wash, the two came to the dining room. "Yuan An is up too? Then come and have breakfast together." Xia Zuling greeted warmly. She seemed to like cooking very much. She often cooked breakfast and gave some to Yuan An. Now that there was one more person, she still did the same. "Teacher Xia, I found that you seem to like cooking very much. Don't you think cooking is troublesome?" Huang Yu asked curiously. "It's not troublesome. I like cooking very much. It's one of my pleasures," Xia Zuling said with a smile. She didn't have the airs of a teacher. She chatted with Huang Yu harmoniously. "Actually, I didn't like cooking before. My mother forced me to learn how to cook. My mother said that if a girl wants to capture a man's heart, she must first capture his stomach." "Really?" Huang Yu was very interested in this topic. "My mother told me that. Later, I also learned to cook, and the food I cooked was delicious. Unfortunately, I have never found a boyfriend." Xia Zuling was a little depressed. "No way. Teacher Xia, you are so beautiful. I think there are many people in the academy who like you. Little girl, you are quite sweet. You are prettier than me. There will definitely be many people in the academy who like you and pursue you in the future. I don't like those stinky men." Huang Yu muttered in a low voice, her face slightly red. Yuan An, who was standing by, didn't say a word, just listened to the two girls, one big and one small, chatting. Although the two girls were 7 or 8 years apart, they were as close as best friends when they met the right topic. Of course, for Yuan An, the topics they talked about were very boring, and he couldn't interrupt. "I'm full, you guys take your time." Yuan An still had one thing to do, to break through the trial tower. Before being caught and taken to the abyss, he had already reached the 30th floor. At that time, Lin Xianqi had a fight with him. Now, no one is fighting with Yuan An anymore. But this trial tower cannot be given up. After all, there are a lot of monsters in it. Monsters mean experience and energy points. Although they are not as good as the monsters in the abyss, mosquitoes are still meat, no matter how small they are. Yuan An had just spent all his 100,000 energy points. He had to save some more energy points quickly, otherwise he would feel uneasy. When he arrived at the long missed trial tower, Yuan An found that it was still so lively and crowded. He was about to line up in the absolutely waiting team, and many people in the line had recognized him and greeted him quickly. "Good morning, senior brother Yuan." "Hello, senior brother Yuan." "Hello, senior brother Yuan." Yuan An was stunned for a second before he reacted, and then he smiled and greeted him quickly. Okay. Hello, everyone. Unknowingly, he had been in Shengjing College for a year, and Shengjing College also welcomed a new batch of students. He also changed from a freshman to the current senior brother Yuan. Of course, this was also because of his heroic record that he was treated like this. Returning from the abyss and turning the tide in the college competition to win first place, these two things made Yuan An's name resound throughout Shengjing College and became an idol in the hearts of countless people. Even some people who came in with him at the same time now smiled and called him senior brother Yuan, which felt quite strange. Isn't this Yuan An? I haven't seen you come to test him for a long time. Teacher Wu, who was guarding the tower, lit up his eyes when he saw Yuan An. Teacher Wu, you still remember me? Yuan An was a little surprised. He didn't come to the trial tower very often, and Teacher Wu, who was guarding the tower here, had to meet many people every day, but he still remembered Yuan An, which was quite surprising. Look at what you said, my memory is very good. Teacher Wu smiled. Although Yuan An has only been to the trial tower a few times, and it was a year ago, but the noise he made in the trial tower at that time was not small. Anyone who witnessed it with their own eyes would never forget the name Yuan An. Which floor do you plan to reach when you come back to the trial tower this time? Let's see, whatever floor I can reach is the best. Hahaha, then I hope you can break the highest record of the trial tower. Chapter 113. Clear the 108th floor of the trial tower. The trial tower has a total of 108 floors. Since the founding of Shengjing College, no student has successfully passed the 108th floor, not even the 70th floor. After all, the trial tower was not originally intended to allow people to pass it, but was just a means of motivation. Even among the teachers of Shengjing College, few people can pass the 108th floor. And today, Yuan An is here. He has already passed the 31st floor, so today he will start directly from the 32nd floor. Trial tower, 32nd floor, passing requirement, destroy all monsters, total number of monsters. 15, lowest level. Third level 2, highest level. Third level 7, record holder for this level, Lin Iron Key, time. 1 hour and 15 minutes start. Looking at the familiar yet somewhat unfamiliar scene, Yuan An twisted his neck to move his joints. It's been a long time since I came to the trial tower. Let's see how many levels I can reach today. Spiritual summoning technique, devouring demon wolf. Of course, Yuan An didn't need to do anything with the scum in front of him. This level of monsters was more than enough for the devouring demon wolf to deal with. Despite the large number, these ordinary monsters were like the difference between a husky and a wolf compared to the abyss monsters. Although the two looked quite similar, the former was completely incomparable to the latter. The devouring demon wolf was already level 4, level 1, and it was also of the abyss attribute, belonging to the abyss monster. In front of the abyss monster, ordinary monsters were as well behaved as kittens. The devouring demon wolf directly treated them as a buffet, eating one by one, and the battle was resolved in a few moves. Successfully cleared the 32nd floor of the trial tower. Time. 3 minutes and 10 seconds. Get the first pass reward. 32,000 points. Successfully broke the record for clearing the 32nd floor and got 3,200 points. Successfully cleared the 33rd floor of the trial tower in 3 minutes and 30 seconds. Obtained the first pass reward. 33,000 points. Successfully broke the record for clearing the 33rd floor and obtained 3,300 points. Congratulations to Yuan An for successfully breaking the record for clearing the 32nd floor in 3 minutes and 10 seconds. Congratulations to Yuan An for successfully breaking the record for clearing the 33rd floor in 3 minutes and 30 seconds. Congratulations to Yuan An for successfully breaking the record for clearing the 34th floor in 3 minutes and 50 seconds. Congratulations to Yuan An for successfully breaking the record for clearing the 35th floor in 4 minutes. The notification of Yuan An breaking the record was soon broadcast outside the trial tower. Looking at his exaggerated clearance speed, everyone was shocked, envious, and deeply admired. A year ago, Yuan An also broke the clearance record again and again. At that time, some people were surprised, and some questioned and ridiculed. Now, there is only admiration. Congratulations to Yuan An for successfully breaking the record for the 40th floor. Time: 4 minutes and 59 seconds. Congratulations to Yuan An for successfully breaking the record for the 50th floor. Time: 5 minutes and 59 seconds. Congratulations to Yuan An for successfully breaking the record for the 60th floor. Time: 6 minutes and 59 seconds. Congratulations to Yuan An for successfully breaking the record for the 62nd floor. Time: 7 minutes and 30 seconds. The previous highest record for the trial tower was the 61st floor, and Yuan An was the first to reach the 62nd floor. At this point, he was no longer breaking anyone's record, but creating a record. The movement on the trial tower side also attracted the attention of many teachers. Even Fang Weifeng was alarmed. After all, it has been a long time since anyone has reached a new height in the trial tower. But when they found out that it was Yuan An who was breaking the tower, they understood it all at once. After all, with Yuan An's strength, it is definitely not a problem to break through the 70th or 80th floor. Congratulations to Yuan An for first clearing the 70th floor. Time: 8 minutes and 59 seconds. Congratulations to Yuan An for clearing the 80th floor for the first time. Time: 10 minutes. Congratulations to Yuan An for clearing the 90th floor for the first time. Time: 15 minutes. Watching the continuous broadcast of the clearance records, more and more people began to gather around, and their expressions changed from shock, very shocked, extremely shocked. 90 floors. Brother Yuan has cleared the 90th floor. Oh my god, he actually broke through to the 90th floor in one breath, which has broken the highest record of our college. Too scary, even ordinary teachers probably can't reach the 90th floor. Does he want to clear the 108th floor of the trial tower? As expected of Brother Yuan, he is handsome and powerful. I like him so much. Bah, don't be crazy here. Brother Yuan doesn't like you. If he likes you, he likes me with big breasts, thin waist and long legs. Some people were shocked by Yuan An's strength, and some people began to compete with Yuan An. Even Fang Weifeng was shocked. I knew Yuan An was strong, but I didn't expect him to be so strong. The difficulty of the trial tower is not lower than that of the Abyss Tower. The difficulty of the Abyss Tower is that you have to face the Abyss monsters. Although the trial tower is just an ordinary monster, there are more of them. The difficulty of the 80th floor of the trial tower has exceeded that of the 9th floor of the Abyss Tower. This is also Fang Weifeng's guess about Yuan An's strength. But I didn't expect that he has already cleared the 90th floor. It seems that Yuan An's strength has not been fully demonstrated. Maybe this kid can really clear the 108th floor. Director Zhu on the side smiled. It is naturally a good thing for them that Yuan An can clear the level. Let's see. Fang Weifeng is also full of expectations. Successfully killed the 4th order level 1 monster and obtained 410 experience. Congratulations to the host for successfully upgrading to the 4th order level 2. The devouring demon wolf successfully upgraded to the 4th order level 2. What Yuan An is not satisfied with ordinary monsters is that their experience is too little. Only a few hundred experience. Abyssal monsters have 10 times the experience of ordinary monsters. So much so that he had to break through dozens of floors in one go today to upgrade from level 10 of the 3rd stage to level 2 of the 4th stage. If this number of ordinary monsters were replaced with abyssal monsters, he would probably be able to upgrade to level 4, level 6, or level 7 now. There are only 18 floors left, and I'll clear them all in one go. The level of the monsters in the high levels of the trial tower is not high, and the highest is only level 4 and level 5. In the later higher levels, it's all about quantity. From the beginning of 10 or 20, it has become 40 or 50 now. For ordinary people, the difficulty has indeed increased greatly, but for Yuan An, who has would release, as long as the strength level of the monsters does not continue to increase, he is not afraid of more monsters just by number. Congratulations to Yuan An for clearing the 100th floor for the first time. Time: 17 minutes. Congratulations to Yuan An for clearing the 105th floor for the first time. Time: 20 minutes. Congratulations to Yuan An for clearing the 107th floor for the first time. Time 23 minutes. Congratulations to Yuan An for clearing the 108th floor for the first time. Time 25 minutes. All 108 floors of the trial tower, all cleared. Most of the people in Sharingan College witnessed this moment. This trial tower, which has stood here since the founding of Sharingan College, finally welcomed the first student to clear it. Yuan An will become a figure recorded in the history of Sharingan College. Chapter 114. Huang Yu cooks for her. Breakthrough. Watching the announcement on the trial tower, those who witnessed this historic moment were filled with shock and awe. Yuan An became the first student to break through the trial tower. This kid is really good. Fang Weifeng was also surprised and whispered softly. He set the difficulty of the trial tower himself, so he naturally knew what level was needed to break through the 108th floor. Level 4, Level 8. The specific level can fluctuate up or down by 1 or 2 levels according to different abilities and abilities. The highest level may be level 4, level 9, 10, or even level 5. But the lowest level may be level 4, level 5, 6 to break through the trial tower. But no matter what, Yuan An is the first student to truly break through the 108th floor of the trial tower, and has become the history of the academy. This kid will definitely be the pride of our human race in the future. Did you break through it? It's not as difficult as you imagined. Yuan An twisted his neck and stretched his muscles and bones, feeling comfortable all over. After breaking through the trial tower, the beam of light fell and passed him out. After walking out of the trial tower, Yuan An was shocked to see the scene outside. Outside the trial tower, there were so many people. He had never seen such a big scene in Sharingan College. So many people, what's going on? Yuan An walked out of the trial tower, muttering softly. Teacher Wu beside him also came out of the small room very rarely, and said with a smile, Yuan An, congratulations on becoming the first student in our college to pass the trial tower. Thank you, Teacher Wu. But Teacher Wu, since I'm the first to pass, is there any special reward? Yuan An suddenly became interested. According to convention, he set an unprecedented record, and he was the first to pass the trial tower, so he should have a special reward. Teacher Wu was suddenly a little speechless. Is there no reward? This matter, it can't be said that there is no reward. After all, it is a meaningful thing to pass the trial tower, so it is not justified without some reward. Yes, so take it out. Yuan An looked at her. Ahem. When the trial tower was established, there were rewards for passing the level. But later, because the trial tower was too difficult, no one has been able to pass the level for so many years, and no one has even reached the 80th floor. Those clearance rewards were just sitting there, so the dean took them later, and they haven't been compensated yet. Teacher Wu was also embarrassed. After all, he was talking bad about Fang Weifeng. If a person's face could express specific patterns, Yuan An's face would definitely be, at this moment, speechless. Very speechless. It's obvious that Fang Weifeng misappropriated and embezzled the clearance rewards. Teacher Wu said it so tactfully. Do we still need to save face for Fang Weifeng? Can I ask the dean for it back? Yuan An asked. Theoretically, I can, but I don't dare to ask. Teacher Wu looked serious. Yuan An. Forget it then. He didn't care much about the clearance rewards. He also gained a lot from this clearance. In addition to the direct level increase of 2 levels, more importantly, he gained 200 or 300 monster cores. This reward is the biggest part, the rest doesn't matter. There were crowds of people outside the trial tower, watching Yuan An walk out of the tower with their own eyes. Everyone made way for him, and watched him leave with great admiration. It was getting late, dusk was falling. Yuan An didn't go anywhere, and went straight back to the dormitory. When he opened the door and went home, the lights were on in the house. Brother, welcome back. Huang Yu had been waiting in the house for a long time, and there were several dishes on the table, which looked pretty good. The meal is ready. It was made by Teacher Zaya. Where is she? Yuan An looked in the kitchen, but didn't see Zaya's dueling. Huang Yu said mysteriously, this is not made by Teacher Zaya. It's not made by Teacher Zaya. Then the dishes from the college cafeteria must have been packed back. Then why not just use the lunch boxes from the cafeteria? We also use our own lunch boxes, which we have to wash again later. Yuan An sat down while talking. The biggest advantage of him and Huang Yu living in this 3-bedroom house is that they feel like they are at home. It's just that there is one less person to cook. Oh, brother, why are you so stupid? I made it. Huang Yu pouted slightly, as if she was a little dissatisfied that Yuan An couldn't guess it. You made it? Yuan An stopped his chopsticks immediately. Looking at these dishes, that looked quite decent. If you look carefully, you can see some clues in them, such as granulated salt and sugar that was not completely melted, which told him that these dishes were not simple. Why, don't you believe in my cooking skills? Seeing Yuan An suddenly stop, the girl was a little dissatisfied, frowning her eyebrows with displeasure. Can I believe it? Huang Yu was picked up when she was young, so she was very sensible. When she was at Yuan's house, she often helped Yuan Zhen or Susan with work, including helping in the kitchen. Originally thought that she could learn some skills by watching often, but the result, since she tried to cook for the first time 2 years ago and blew up the pot at the beginning, Yuan Zhen and Susan never let her cook again. At most, she was asked to help, but she was absolutely not allowed to touch the spatula. Thinking of this, Yuan An subconsciously glanced at the kitchen. Fortunately, the kitchen was still there, but Huang Yu noticed his gaze and immediately put his hands on his waist in dissatisfaction, humming and saying, I have studied with Teacher Zaya today, and my cooking skills have improved a lot. Teacher Zaya praised me for being smart. So, why doesn't Teacher Zaya eat with us? Yuan An revealed the truth. Teacher Zaya was suddenly called over by the dean because you cleared the trial tower. I also cooked this meal myself to celebrate for you, Huang Yu said seriously. Yuan An remained skeptical. Whether this was a celebration or for other purposes, he didn't dare to say. Hey, brother, try it quickly. This is my first time cooking. Can't you give me some encouragement? Seeing that he couldn't coax him, Huang Yu changed his strategy, grabbed Yuan An's hand, shook it and said coquettishly, okay, I'll try it, don't shake it anymore. After a brief hesitation, Yuan An finally chose to try the most normal looking tomato scrambled eggs. This dish is also very simple. Even if it is not cooked well, it shouldn't be too bad, right? He picked up a piece of egg, smelled it and found nothing unusual, then put it in his mouth and took a bite. After taking a bite, Yuan An's brows immediately frowned. How is it? Huang Yu looked expectant. Yuan An gave a difficult evaluation. Pretty good. Chapter 115. It's hard to evaluate. Very good. After taking a bite of the egg, Yuan An gave a difficult evaluation, trying to make his expression look less strange. Imagine what it feels like to have a piece of ordinary looking egg, which contains large pieces of salt, shredded eggshells, and lumps of sugar. After taking this bite, Yuan An felt that the king of hell was waving at him. If he ate this plate of scrambled eggs with tomatoes, or ate all the other dishes, the king of hell would praise him for not knowing how to live or die. Really? Then try other dishes. Eat a piece of chicken? Huang Yu enthusiastically picked up a piece of chicken for Yuan An. That, Xiaoyu, actually I just came back from eating outside, and now I'm full, not hungry at all, and I can't eat anymore. Yuan An didn't want to look at it anymore. Ah, how could it be? Even if you're full, you can still eat another piece. Just try it. Huang Yu was a little unhappy, but still hoped that he could eat another bite with some expectation. Ahem. Scientific research shows that people can't eat too much, otherwise it's bad for the stomach. If you don't want to eat, don't eat. If you don't want to eat, I'll eat it myself. After being rejected twice, Huang Yu was a little unhappy and put the piece of chicken into her mouth. Hey, don't. It was too late for Yuan An to stop her. Huang Yu took a bite of the chicken and her expression froze, and the movement of her mouth also stopped. The next second, she vomited the chicken with an indescribable expression. It's so unpalatable. Although she made it herself, she still gave such an evaluation with difficulty. I told you not to eat it. Just from the color, Yuan An knew that the chicken should not be cooked yet. Maybe it's just this one that tastes bad. I'll try the others. Huang Yu didn't believe it and tried the other dishes one by one. Yuan An couldn't stop her. The result was naturally that her expression became uglier and uglier. Until the end, she tried a piece of egg in the tomato scrambled eggs. The feeling of the teeth being rubbed, the feeling of salt and sugar dancing on the tip of her tongue, made her spit it out directly. She didn't know what expression to make on her face. It turns out that it's so unpalatable. Brother, why didn't you tell me and ate that bite of egg? After all, this is Xiao's first time cooking. I can't hurt your feelings so directly, right? Yuan An was still very kind. Huang Yu was moved. In order to take care of her feelings, Yuan An was willing to suffer himself without saying anything. Brother, thank you. Her eyes were misty, and she was very moved. Silly girl. Yuan An touched her head lovingly and looked into Huang Yu's eyes very seriously. But you have to promise me that you will never cook in the kitchen again, okay? HMM. Huang Yu was originally quite moved, but suddenly realized what Yuan An meant, and her expression changed all of a sudden. Are you disgusted by the taste of my cooking? She showed two cute little tiger teeth, fierce, like a kitten with its fur standing on end. Yuan An wanted to add fuel to the fire. Don't you feel that? I'm going to bite you to death. Huang Yu's defense was broken, and she pounced on Yuan An, trying to leave a few teeth marks on him as revenge. Hey, let's talk it out. A gentleman uses words instead of hands. No, even words are not allowed. On the surface, Huang Yu's offensive was fierce, but she was subdued by Yuan An and pressed on the sofa in a few seconds. Let me go. Huang Yu's hands were clamped, and she couldn't move. Hey, you still want to attack me? Now you know how powerful I am, right? Yuan An was not going to show mercy to women. Humph, wait until I break free. I'll bite you to death. Huang Yu struggled unwillingly for a few times, but she couldn't break free anyway. In the end, she had to give up struggling, but still refused to admit defeat with a stubborn face. I won't let you go if you don't admit defeat. Yuan An teased. I won't admit defeat. The girl snorted. The two were in an unexpectedly intimate position. Huang Yu was pushed down on the sofa by Yuan An, who pressed half of his body down to prevent her from moving. The elegant body fragrance of the girl entered Yuan An's nose, making people feel relaxed and happy. The girl's face was stubborn, but it still couldn't hide her beautiful features. Under her snow-white neck was a delicate collarbone, and below was a firm chest, full of youth and vitality. It was the first time that Yuan An observed Huang Yu so seriously, and only then did he realize that this girl had grown up so big and so beautiful. She was a real beauty. Huang Yu seemed to notice that Yuan An's eyes were looking at her, and the distance between the two after they calmed down, which also made her cheeks slightly red. Okay, stop making trouble, I'll go make dinner again. Yuan An let her go, took away everything on the table, and then went into the kitchen to cook. Although he didn't cook much, he still knew how to cook, and inherited the genes of his parents. At least the food he made was edible. Huang Yu looked at him, sat up from the sofa, hugged his knees with both hands, his cheeks slightly red, and quietly watched the busy back in the kitchen. Dinner was just a small episode. After dinner, Yuan An took a shower and went back to his room. System, exchange all the monster cores today for energy points. 23rd level 5 monster cores, 15th level 6 monster cores, sell all, get 76,543 energy points. 70,000 energy points, not bad, enough for him to exchange for a lot of things. It's worth his hard work today to clear the trial tower. There is nothing to exchange for the main Juki Sharingan for the time being. Yuan An first opened the mysterious shop to refresh around. Forbidden technique impure world reincarnation. 30,000 energy points, forbidden technique immortal reincarnation. 25,000 energy points, sealing technique Shiki-Fuajin. 30,000 energy points, sealing technique sealing evil seal. 10,000 energy points, spiritual technique 5-layer Asherman. 10,000 energy points, forbidden technique spiritualization technique. 10,000 energy points, they are all very powerful techniques, really good, but really expensive. Yuan An thought about it seriously, and finally exchanged impure world reincarnation, sealing evil seal, 5-layer Asherman, and spiritualization technique. Total cost 60,000 energy points. He was suddenly poor. There are still 15,000 energy points left, but it's not enough to exchange for these forbidden techniques. Yuan An finally moved toward release. More than 10,000 energy points can't be exchanged for much, and in the end he only exchanged for would release flower tree world birth. Very good, I'm a pauper again. No money, no burden. But get ready, I'll go to Killin City in a few days to receive the reward. I wonder what good things there will be. Yuan An is now looking forward to going to Killin City. It is the core of the Shengsha Alliance and the core of the Shengsha Empire. If I can get a little luck or inheritance from it, I will benefit a lot. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 116, Killin City. 5 days passed quickly. Yuan An and others rested for 5 days, and then, under the leadership of Fang Weifeng, they gathered and set off for Killin City. Killin City, located in the northern area of Shengsha Empire, is the royal city of Shengsha Empire and the core of Shengsha Empire. Of course, the strongest people of Shengsha Empire are also there. Going to Killin City from Shengjing College is farther than going to Huacheng. Everyone set out in the morning and arrived at the teleportation tower of Killin City at noon. Welcome Dean Fang. Waiting outside the trial tower was the chief referee of the college competition, Beijing Shen. Commander Bei, please wait here in person. Fang Weifeng hurriedly stepped forward and shook hands with Beijing Shen. Only people from the 4 major colleges were present, and there were only 44 people in total, 40 students and 4 deans. This time they came just to receive the reward, not to do anything, so naturally they didn't need so many people. Everyone is here, and Mr. Mu is waiting for you. Beijing Shen led the way in front, and everyone followed closely. Killin City is very large, surrounded by tall buildings and strict security. From the transmission tower to a huge palace in front, there are many guards on guard. The palace in front is huge and magnificent, with sharp edges and corners. On the roof in the center stands a huge Killin statue, with a huge aura blowing in the face. Everyone who saw this scene for the first time was amazed. Is this Killin City? It's so spectacular. What an amazing pressure. Even Yuan An was shocked by the momentum of the huge Killin statue at first sight. It seemed that it was not a stone statue, but a sleeping Killin, which might open its eyes at any time and look down on the world. Everyone walked all the way to the palace. In the wide corridor, Mu Leo, whom Yuan An had met before, was already waiting. Although his hair and beard were white, he still looked energetic and imposing in a red robe. Haha, you are all here. Hello, Mr. Mu. The 4 deans bowed together. Hello, Mr. Mu. The remaining 40 disciples also bowed together. Okay, everyone, get up. No more unnecessary words. Let's get started. Boss Mu waved his hand, and above the sky, a virtual illusion emerged with the clouds. The illusion showed a desolate ancient battlefield, revealing solemnity. This is where you are going to enter next, the realm of God. In the realm of God, all the fallen strong men of our Shengsha Empire over the past 1,000 years are buried. They sacrificed for our Shengsha Empire during their lifetime, and will protect our Shengsha Empire after death. After you enter, you can worship at the tomb of each ancestor on your own. If the ancestors feel that they have a connection with you, they will pass on their lifelong power to you. Of course, if there is no induction, do not do anything to blaspheme the ancestors. Violators will be severely punished. After entering, everyone has 7 days to find the inheritance. If no inheritance is obtained after 7 days, it will be automatically passed out. Do you understand? Mu Leo's words are sacred and serious, so that everyone dare not be distracted and answer loudly. Understood. Very good. This is a reward for all of you. There are some separate rewards for the top 3 next. The first place Shengjing College. Follow me. Mu Leo turned around and walked to the other side. Yuan An, Huang Yu and others hurriedly followed. Shengsha College. Follow me. Beijing Shen is the first commander of the Shengsha Empire and took the people of Shengsha College away. Linghe College. Come this way. The second commander of the Shengsha Empire was a mysterious man wearing a mask and with a cold breath. He also took the people from Linghe College away. This is a reward for the top 3 colleges in the competition, to receive individual guidance from different people. Among them, only Basin College did not have one. Dean Fu, how does it feel? I didn't expect that it was your Basin College that was kicked out in the end, right? As a dean, he couldn't go with them. So Fang Weifeng had to stay and taunt Fu Lingshan. TSK, Fang Weifeng, don't be too proud. Fu Lingshan felt aggrieved, but he couldn't refute it. Originally, Shengjing College should have been kicked out this time. Unexpectedly, Shengjing College actually overtook in the end. This made Fu Lingshan, who had been desperately taunting Fang Weifeng at the beginning, now being taunted in return, but he could only swallow it himself. Yuan An and others followed Mu Leo and walked forward, winding through corridors and gardens. You are the first in this college competition, and you can get my guidance, so you must listen carefully to what I say next. Mu Leo said as he walked, and the others listened very carefully as they walked. First of all, after entering the realm of God, you should not be arrogant. According to your actual situation, choose some tombs of ancestors to receive enlightenment. Some ancestors may not be the strongest, but they may have high attainments in some specific aspects. For example, in the ice system, you should give priority to finding ancestors of the ice system. You should choose according to the actual situation, instead of blindly choosing the strongest ancestors, but in the end you will return empty-handed. The strongest is not necessarily the best. Only the most suitable for you is the best. Do you understand? Mu Leo's words fell into everyone's ears clearly and steadily. Understood. Everyone nodded. Very good. The guidance is over. You can prepare to enter the realm of God. Mu Leo's words made everyone stunned. The guidance is over? The guidance of the dignified God King. Shouldn't it be full of mystery and infinite enlightenment? Shouldn't they be enlightened and soar on the spot after being instructed? No, soaring on the spot? How come now? It's the same, as if nothing was said. And after going around in a circle, they are back to the square? Question mark? After this circle, they just walked around, without any instructions. So is the God King so unreliable? This reminded Yuan An of the fact that, after he cleared the 108th floor of the trial tower, he found that the clearance reward was embezzled by the dean. Okay, you are all young people, go in. Mu Leo shouted with full energy, and pushed Yuan An in first. The others followed in quickly. As light as breaking through the clouds and mist, Yuan An found that he had entered a new realm. In front of him was a magical place. On the left was a beautiful place with birds singing and flowers blooming, and green trees. On the right was a solemn battlefield with broken walls and broken weapons. Two completely incompatible scenes, but now appeared in the same space. The only thing in common was that there were tombstones that could not be seen at the end, telling the glory of the past and the desolation of the present. Chapter 117, God's Realm, Stage 6, Level 9. Is this the realm of gods? Looking at the tombstone in front of him, Huang Yu couldn't help but sigh softly. Although it was full of graves, it didn't make people feel gloomy and scary. Because all the people here were ancestors who died for the Shengsha Empire, and they were all heroes of the Shengsha Empire. No one would be afraid of heroes, even if they were dead. They were the last to come in. The people from the other 3 academies had already come in, and were looking around for a suitable tombstone for inheritance. There was a tombstone next to Yuan An, and 2 lines of words were engraved on the lapis lazuli tombstone. Ancestor 1 Hangjin, 5th level, level 7, A-level lightning ability user, the commander-in-chief of the Shengxing army, in the 1050th year of the Shengsha calendar, died in the first monster war, killing countless enemies. The short 2 lines of words have already shown the identity and strength of the owner of this tombstone, as well as his record. Those who can be buried in the realm of gods are all ancestors with strong strength or great military exploits. As long as you can get the inheritance of an ancestor at will, you will benefit a lot. Of course, the premise is that you can get the recognition of the ancestor. Basically, if you can get the recognition of the ancestors, you will have a feeling. Yuan An didn't feel anything in front of the tombstone of this ancestor 1 Hangjin, which means that the ancestor 1 Hangjin looked down on him probably because he was not a thunder type superpower. After all, if they are not of the same type, it is useless even if they inherit. Let's go to worship the ancestors and find the inheritance ourselves. Yuan An said to everyone. Okay. Everyone nodded and immediately dispersed to find ancestors who might be suitable. Brother, do you have to find ancestors of the wood or spiritual pupil system to inherit? Huang Yu followed Yuan An and asked curiously. I think so, but there seem to be very few wood and spiritual pupil systems. Yuan An has also read history books. Although the strong people in the history of the Shangxia Empire have many superpowers, there are almost no records of strong people of the wood and spiritual pupil systems. So he didn't hold too much hope, just let it go. But there are still many strong people in the ice, wind, and water systems. Xiaoyu, you can seize the opportunity. Although the ordinary system's abilities are ordinary, the more ordinary they are, the more likely they are to have strong people, and the more chances they have to obtain inheritance. Yeah. The girl nodded, and began to look for them one by one on the surrounding tombstones. The god's domain is very large, and there are thousands of ancestors buried there. Yuan An looked down this row, and found that except for the powerful strength of the ancestor Wan Hangjin in front, there are actually very few in the god's domain. Most of the ancestors' strength is just around the 5th level, with levels 1, 2, 3, and 4. There are even some 4th level ancestors buried here. This kind of ancestors is not simply because of their strength, but because of their great achievements in their lifetime. For example, Ancestor Huang Yan, 4th level 1, A-level healing system ability, the chief healer of the god's marching army, who has treated fatal injuries for the first god king, the great commander of the god's marching army, and the second commander, and passed away in the 1070th year of the god's Aya calendar. Healers are not combat type superpowers, and the 4th level one is far inferior to the average level of other ancestors. But the ancestor Huang Yan once helped the first god king, and the leader of the god march to treat fatal injuries, saving the dying and the wounded, and practicing medicine to save the world. This kind of merit is enough to make her also rank in the realm of god. Yuan An walked all the way, and there was no ancestor of the wood system or the spiritual pupil system, and no ancestors of other systems had any induction with him. On the contrary, many people have already had induction with some ancestors, but no one is in a hurry. They have 7 days, enough for them to worship all ancestors, and try to sense. Because there is no rule that only one ancestor will have induction. If multiple ancestors have induction, they also have to consider which ancestor to inherit. Everyone can only choose one ancestor to inherit, unless multiple ancestors take the initiative to choose him. Otherwise it is generally one ancestor per person. Everyone wants to choose the best. Of course, there will be another situation. That is, you have induction with this ancestor, but you don't inherit it immediately. After leaving, the ancestor also had a sense of other people, and if the people behind chose to inherit on the spot, then the people in front would have no chance to inherit. So, this is also an alternative gamble. Yuan An was a little depressed. He looked at 30 or 40 tombstones, and none of them had a sense. Is it possible that in this huge divine domain, there is no ancestor who can communicate with me? Depressed, really depressed. In desperation, he had to continue walking, from the beautiful place with a beautiful environment to the battlefield with a solemn atmosphere. On this side of the ancient battlefield, the most eye-catching thing is of course an ancient battlefield, where the only tombstone stands. The content on it is clearly visible. Ancestor Han King Guyan, 6th level 9, A-level ice-type psychic, the commander-in-chief of the fencing army, once killed 2 abyss demon generals and seriously injured the 2nd generation abyss king, and died in the 1470th year of the divine Aya calendar. 6th level 9. Seeing the content on the tombstone, Yuan An couldn't help but exclaimed. A 5th level psychic is already a strong one, and a 6th level psychic is extremely rare. Although the first god king of the Shangxia Empire was the first 7th order supernatural person in human history, it was only possible for the whole human race to appear. From then until now, there has been no 7th order supernatural person, and the highest is only the 6th order level 10. And the ancestor Han King Guyan in front of him, she is not a god king, but she has reached the 6th order level 9. No matter when, this is definitely considered to be the strongest person in the human race. Moreover, the ancestor Han King Guyan has killed 2 abyss demons and seriously injured the king of the abyss, with a brilliant record. No wonder she can erect a monument alone on this ancient battlefield. Not only Yuan An noticed this, many people noticed it. Among them, Susanoo from Basin Academy was very excited after seeing the content on the tombstone. Ice supernatural person, isn't this just suitable for me? Please pass it on to me, ancestor. Susanoo hurried to the tombstone and respectfully burned incense to worship to show her piety. She is a male level ice type, and Han King Yuan is also a male level ice type. The two of them may really have a connection. Under the tense gaze of the crowd, a faint light really appeared on Han King Yuan's tombstone. This is a sign that she is willing to connect with Susanoo. The ancestor and senior sister Susanoo have a connection. Oh my god. This is a 6th order, level 9 ancestor. If she can get her inheritance, senior sister Susanoo will definitely be able to soar to the sky. Everyone in Basin Academy was shocked by the phenomenon before their eyes. In this college competition, their Basin Academy was the most frustrated. But if Susanoo can get the inheritance of the ancestor Han King Yuan, then all the frustrations before will not matter. Their Basin Academy will be the biggest beneficiary of this god's domain. Chapter 118. Who said this inheritance is yours? This guy can actually get the inheritance of the ancestor Han King Yuan. I didn't expect it. Yuan An was also quite surprised to see that Susanoo was favored by the ancestor Han King Yuan. To be honest, he was envious. That was the inheritance of a 6th order, level 9 strongman. Who wouldn't be envious? As expected of senior sister Susanoo, she can actually get the inheritance of such a strong ancestor. Huang Yu was also attracted here and saw the introduction of Han King Yuan on the tombstone and was a little envious. She also wanted an ice type superpower. It's okay, there must be better ones. Yuan An saw the desire in Huang Yu's eyes and comforted her softly. The light on the ancestor Han King Yuan's tombstone was about to fall on Susanoo, but at this moment, a magical thing happened. The soft white light suddenly changed a direction. It didn't fall on Susanoo, but flew towards the crowd, passing through many obstacles, and finally fell on Huang Yu. This sudden scene stunned everyone. Shouldn't the light of inheritance fall on Susanoo? Why did it suddenly turn? Moreover, Huang Yu was not even on the stone platform. It was the light that took the initiative to find Huang Yu. What is going on? Susanoo was stunned. She had already prepared to accept the inheritance. But the inheritance light didn't fall on her? Question mark? Everyone was dumbfounded. But when they saw that the inheritance light fell on Huang Yu, they suddenly understood. Inheritance is a two-way choice. They find the right ancestors, but the ancestors will also choose who will inherit their power. The ancestor Han King Yuan is the strongest ice-type psychic in the history of the Shengsha Empire, as recorded in history books. Those who can be favored by her are naturally ice-type psychics with certain potential. Originally, with Susanoo's A-level ice ability, she could indeed be favored by Han King Yuan. But there was no way. Huang Yu came. The value of the S-level ice system, understand? There are better choices. Who would choose a lower level? But even Huang Yu herself was a little confused and didn't understand why the inheritance light suddenly fell on her. Huang Yu, you dare to steal my inheritance? Susanoo was so angry when she saw Huang Yu that she immediately shouted at him. She knew that Huang Yu and Yuan An had a special relationship, so she was even angrier. She was already mad at Yuan An. Now she was even more angry. She was almost going to explode. So when she saw that it was Huang Yu who sucked away her inheritance light, she accused Huang Yu of deliberately stealing it without thinking. Senior sister Susanoo, I didn't. Huang Yu's momentum weakened all of a sudden. Although her performance in the competition was good, she was still just a girl who entered school 2 years in advance. Compared with normal people, her character and experience were inferior. In addition, she had a kind personality and was kind to many other people. In addition, she also saw that it was indeed Susanoo who first triggered the inheritance light of her ancestor Han King Yuan, and then the inheritance light fell on her. Therefore, Huang Yu felt that she was indeed wrong in this matter, although she did nothing. Miss Fu, don't blame others, even if you have the blame. Yuan An pulled Huang Yu behind him and looked at Susanoo. Don't tell me you don't know the rules of the god's domain. Inheritance is a choice of both parties. You have taken a fancy to the ancestor Han King Yuan, and the ancestor has indeed taken a fancy to you. But before you officially start the inheritance, no one can say who the inheritance belongs to. Besides, it was not Susanoo who took your inheritance away, but the ancestor found Susanoo himself. In your words, do you want to blame the ancestor? Yuan An said coldly. He would not give Susanoo face. The two of them had a little grudge, and Susanoo even scolded Susanoo. Can he bear it? But everyone saw that I was the first to trigger the ancestor's inheritance induction. If it weren't for Susanoo, this inheritance would be mine. Susanoo was not convinced. Of course she was not convinced. This is the inheritance of the strongest ice-type superpower in history. As long as she gets it, her strength will definitely soar to the sky. The cooked duck flew away. How can she accept it? It's a pity that there is no if. Now the ancestors think that Susanoo is more suitable for her inheritance. What? You are not convinced? Do you want to violate the rules and make trouble here? Yuan An refused to give in, and Susanoo's face turned red with anger. Susanoo looked at the two of them arguing and neither of them gave in. He felt a little sorry. He gently pulled the corner of Yuan An's clothes and whispered, "Brother, why don't you give this inheritance to senior sister Susanoo? She was too kind and couldn't bear to take away other people's inheritance." He felt bad. Silly girl, this thing is not a question of giving or not. The ancestors chose you, and now only you can accept the inheritance. Even if you don't want it, others may not be able to get the inheritance. Yuan An really thinks this girl is too kind. What if you meet a bad person or someone with ulterior motives like this? It's easy to be deceived. So, do you obediently give way and then look for the inheritance of other ancestors while there is still time, or make trouble here and be disqualified and don't even have the last chance? Yuan An looked at Susanoo indifferently. The latter was so angry that her chest was heaving and her expression was gloomy. All the people from Basin Academy had already arrived. If a fight really broke out, as long as Susanoo opened her mouth, they would immediately start fighting. But in the same way, the people from Sharingan Academy also came to Yuan An and Susanoo at the same time to support them. The atmosphere between the two sides was on the verge of breaking out. Very good. Susanoo, Yuan An, I will remember you too. In the end, Susanoo still chose to swallow her anger. A little impatience will ruin a big plan, even if there are 10,000 dissatisfactions in her heart. But if the fight really broke out because of impulsiveness, it would be a big loss. Therefore, Susanoo could only temporarily swallow this loss. Let's go. With a cold wave of her hand, Susanoo took the people from Basin Academy away. Brother, is it not good for us to do this? Susanoo still felt a little guilty about doing this. Yuan An looked back at her, his expression extremely serious and earnest. Susanoo, you must remember that in this dangerous world, being too kind is not a good thing. You must learn to put away your kindness appropriately. And, as I said, it's not you who stole her inheritance, but the ancestors chose you. In this matter, you have done nothing wrong. The ancestors chose you and trusted you, hoping that you can inherit her power and continue to protect the Shengsha Empire. So, you can't live up to the trust and wishes of the ancestors, understand? Susanoo listened very seriously and nodded. I understand. Yuan An touched the top of her head. It's good that you understand. Then you should prepare to accept the inheritance. He was so jealous of the inheritance of a 6th order, level 9 strong man. But if it was Susanoo, he could accept it. After all, he is one of his own. Chapter 119. Garbage and Garbage Heritage. Susanoo came to the tombstone, respectfully offered a stick of incense to the ancestor Han King Yuan, and worshipped devoutly. Ancestors, I'm Susanoo, a junior, and I'm grateful for your appreciation, so I'm here to accept your inheritance. After respectfully worshipping 3 times, Susanoo sat cross-legged in front of the tombstone and slowly closed his eyes. The inheritance light on the tombstone began to cover Susanoo. Inheritance is the connection and communication between consciousnesses. Susanoo's consciousness will enter the sea of consciousness left by the ancestors, accept the test, and obtain inheritance. As for how long it takes to complete the inheritance, the time varies, and it is also related to the actual situation of each person. It is very common to take 3 to 5 days or 3 to 5 months. Seeing that Susanoo has officially entered the inheritance, Yuan An left with peace of mind. Huang Yu in this state has a protection mechanism, and it is difficult for others to forcibly interfere. I should also look for it seriously. Yuan An has not found a suitable inheritance yet. Is it because these ancestors saw that he has double F level abilities, so they don't want to inherit with him? No way. You are famous heroes after all. Can you not judge people by appearance? Yuan An was very depressed. 3 more days passed, and Yuan An had already walked through the entire god's domain, and walked 3 times. He looked at all the tombstones carefully, but still no ancestor was willing to have a connection with him. I don't know if it's because there are no spiritual pupil and wood type superpowers here, or because he has double F level superpowers. If it's the latter, he despises all the ancestors here. A dignified ancestor, still judging people by appearance? Exclamation mark. Now there is only 1 day left. If you can't find the ancestor's inheritance in this day, you will be sent away. On the other hand, except Yuan An, everyone else has received the inheritance. Although some people's inheritance is not very good, but at least it is an inheritance. Unlike Yuan An, who walked around like a fool and didn't find an ancestor who looked up to him, it's not that he has higher requirements now, but that he doesn't even have any options. Forget it, there is no choice. Yuan An also gave up. Anyway, he has a system, so whether there is this inheritance or not will not affect his becoming stronger. Yuan An also gave up, and simply came to Huang Yu and waited quietly. Huang Yu has been inheriting for 3 days, and there has been no movement. Some other people who inherited a day later than her have now completed the inheritance. Of course, their inheritance is simpler. After all, Huang Yu's inheritance is level 9 of the 6th stage, and it is not so fast. Yuan An no longer intends to waste energy just guarding next to Huang Yu and automatically transmit it when the time is up. There is another tombstone here? Looking around boredly, Yuan An suddenly saw a tombstone hidden in the grass next to the stone platform. Exclamation mark. It's not that it's hard to find, but because the surrounding weeds just blocked it, and because there is only 1 tombstone of the ancestor Han King Iron around the stone platform, everyone assumes that there will be no other tombstones around, so they ignore this side. Unexpectedly, there is another one here. Yuan An walked over, pushed aside the weeds, and saw the contents of the seal engraving clearly. Senior Hushan, 5th level 1, A-level fire type supernaturalist, captain of the fencing army, died with Han King Iron, the commander of the fencing army, in the year 1470 of the divine Zaya calendar. Han King Iron's men, who died with Han King Iron, no wonder they can be buried here. Yuan An thoughtfully removed the weeds for him. After all, he was an ancestor who sacrificed for the country and should not be buried by weeds, but should enjoy worship and admiration like everyone else. Just as he was helping to clear the weeds, a fiery red inheritance light suddenly lit up on Hushan's tombstone and fell on Yuan An. At this moment, Yuan An connected with Hushan's remaining consciousness. This is a normal performance in the inheritance process. Young man, I finally waited for you. An illusory, armored strong man appeared in Yuan An's sea of consciousness. Hushan was very excited, because after hundreds of years, someone finally noticed him. Yuan An. Looking at Hushan, Yuan An was speechless. Young man, come on. Come and accept my inheritance. Hushan was very excited. Yuan An. I say senior, have you become presbyopic, because no one has approached you for too long? You are a fire element, I'm a wood element and a spiritual eye element. How can I inherit? He never thought that Hushan would choose him to inherit. The two people's supernatural powers are not related at all. I know, but you are the first one to come to me in the past few hundred years. I can't hold it anymore. No, I can't wait anymore. I must find someone to inherit. Then you should also find a suitable one. How can you inherit if the supernatural powers are different? And I have double F supernatural powers. Can't you see that? Yuan An is still very kind. Knowing that he and Hushan are not suitable, he took the initiative to ask questions. It's okay. My fire system is different from others. What I control is a kind of fire called netherworld fire. Although it is a fire, it can be controlled by anyone regardless of whether they are fire type superpowers. Moreover, my netherworld fire can burn souls and has a miraculous effect on the abyss. At the beginning, I relied on this netherworld fire to kill countless enemies in the abyss. I really want to pass on the netherworld fire, but I don't know which bastard buried me here, causing me to be surrounded by grass. No one has been able to find me for so many years. Hushan suddenly changed his momentum, cursing and being very angry. It can be seen that he was very angry. Ahem. Well, since the senior said so, then I have no choice but to accept the inheritance. Yuan An didn't dislike it at all. Now no tombstone in the entire god's domain has taken a fancy to him. It's not easy to find someone who is willing to give him the inheritance, so of course he won't refuse, regardless of whether it is suitable or not. First of all, you can't lose face. Otherwise, everyone who comes in will get the inheritance, and he, as the first place in this college competition, will not get the inheritance. Isn't it very embarrassing? But, you have double F level abilities. Is the Shengsha Empire so useless now? They can even let in a piece of trash like you? Yuan An. Being scolded again for no reason? Then I'll leave. What's wrong with him? He can be scolded for this? With his temper. I really want to just turn around and leave. Forget it, we are both trash. It's reasonable for trash to inherit trash. Hushan said generously. But why are these words getting weirder and weirder? He scolded himself too, so Yuan An didn't know what to say. Stop talking nonsense and start the inheritance. Chapter 120. Young man, do you have a girlfriend? Stop talking nonsense and start the inheritance. Hushan cursed, but still got down to business. He spread out his palm and a ball of purple flame appeared. This was a deep flame that exuded a strange breath. As the flame jumped, Yuan An felt that even his soul was about to be burned. The temperature around him rose to a terrifying level. This is an netherworld fire, born in the abyss. It can burn the soul and directly purify the power of the abyss. It is an excellent weapon to deal with the enemies of the abyss. Now, I will pass this netherworld fire to you. As for whether you can absorb it, it depends on your luck. After saying this, Hushan slowly pushed his palm forward, and the netherworld fire in his palm broke away and slowly flew to Yuan An and stopped. Ding. The flame netherworld fire was found, which can absorb and strengthen Amaterasu. Do you want to absorb it? This is definitely necessary. Only a fool would not want it. And it can also strengthen Amaterasu. Where can I find such a good thing? Try to wrap it and guide it with your spiritual energy, and don't use brute force to treat it. Be gentle, patient, and sincere like you treat your girlfriend, and then it will respond to you warmly like your girlfriend, allowing you to enjoy its softness. What a bad metaphor. By the way, young man, do you have a girlfriend? Puff. A knife. Chilled to the core. Yuan An almost spat out a mouthful of blood. If you want to talk, just talk. Why did you stab him for no reason? What did he do to provoke anyone? Seeing that he didn't answer, Hushan continued, from your silence, I know you are a single dog. Puff. Another knife. I really don't know whether Hushan is here to pass on his legacy to him or to stab him. Yuan An didn't want to talk anymore, so he asked the system to help absorb the netherworld fire. Young man, don't worry if you don't have a girlfriend. A man's ambition is to die. When you have made great achievements in the war, if you still can't find a girlfriend, you can go to your god king and ask him to assign one to you. I guarantee. Hushan was still lecturing like a senior, but suddenly, his words stopped. The movement of his hands also stopped, because he saw Yuan An with his own eyes, absorbing the nether fire into his body without any hesitation. Ding. Successfully absorbed the nether fire. The main Gekkai Sharingan Amaterasu has been strengthened and can summon both black flames and nether fire at the same time. No, you absorbed it now? Hushan was dumbfounded and walked forward in disbelief, looking at Yuan An from left to right. Is it not possible? Yuan An asked back. No, how could you absorb it just like that? Hushan couldn't accept it. When I absorbed the nether fire, I spent a whole year in the fiery abyss to subdue it. How could you absorb it all at once? Recalling the experience of subduing the nether fire, Hushan was still frightened. Although the nether fire was very obedient, after being subdued by him, it would take a lot of effort for others to absorb it. Why was Yuan An so relaxed? He absorbed it all at once. He couldn't accept it. Maybe it's because my talent is a little higher than that of my predecessors, or maybe it's because the nether fire thinks that I'm a good match for it. Yuan An smiled and said the heartbreaking words. Let you stab me twice just now. Hu Shan looked like he had no desire to live. The things he was proud of were easily mastered by others. He always felt a little aggrieved. However, but it's good that you can perfectly inherit the nether fire. My inheritance will be handed over to you. I hope you can use the nether fire to protect the Xia Empire and protect mankind. Hu Shan suddenly smiled and looked at Yuan An with relief in his eyes. Yuan An's heart was suddenly moved. Every ancestor here died in order to protect the Xia Empire and humanity. They are all heroes and deserve everyone's admiration. Thank you, senior. Yuan An bowed to Hu Shan solemnly. Goodbye, kid. Hu Shan's voice, along with his remaining consciousness, turned into a light that drifted into the distance and disappeared. The scene in front of him returned to normal. In front of Yuan An, Hu Shan's tombstone remained unchanged, but his words were still lingering in his mind. Although it was only a brief contact, Hu Shan's will was also passed on to him along with the nether fire. Not only power, but also the will of the predecessors. This is the real inheritance. Yuan An slowly stood up, looked around, and suddenly found that there was no one in the entire God's domain. Oh my god, are they all gone? I don't feel how long the inheritance has been going on. The others have completed the inheritance and left. He is the only one left in the huge God's domain. Even Yuan Yu on the stone platform has disappeared. Time flies so fast. Yuan An scratched his head. At this moment, the God's domain sensed that he had also completed the inheritance, and a beam of light from the teleportation array fell, teleporting him out as well. Outside the God's domain, Yuan An was teleported out and found that there were no people outside, only 2 guards guarding here. Seeing him come out, one of the guards said, "It seems that you have also completed the inheritance." "Yes. How long have I been in there for the inheritance?" 1 month. 1 month. Yuan An's face was full of disbelief. He felt that it was not even an hour, but it turned out that a month had passed? Question mark? This is fucking too outrageous. Since you have completed the inheritance, I will take you to see the God King. The guard said. Okay, thank you. The 2 of them came to Muleo's study one after the other. God King, the last student of the God's domain has come out. The guard said respectfully. Oh, let him in. An old voice came from the study. Yes. Then, Yuan An went in alone. In the study, Muleo was reading a book. He didn't put down the book until Yuan An came in. He said with a smile, "Yuan An, you are the only one who can receive inheritance in the God's domain for a month." Yuan An scratched his head embarrassedly. I don't know why it takes so long. He was really depressed. Haha, I don't mean to blame you. The time of inheritance varies from person to person. It's okay. Muleo smiled. Then now that I have completed the inheritance, can I go back? Why are you in such a hurry to go back and don't want the opportunity to study in the library? Muleo said. Oh yes, I still have a chance to study in the library. Yuan An almost forgot. The top 5 in the individual ranking of the college competition can get the opportunity to study in the Shengsha Alliance Superpower Library. This is a good opportunity to learn advanced superpowers. Yuan An is very humble. Although he has a system, he is still very interested in some advanced superpowers. Let's go. I'll take you to the library. Chapter 121. Taboo of Summoning the Karma Fire Hell. The library is a place where all kinds of supernatural books are stored. It is a treasure of mankind and its value is inestimable. The library of the Shengsha Alliance gathers all the supernatural powers of the entire Shengsha Empire, whether it is powerful or rare. If you can find a supernatural power that suits your heart, you will be greatly improved. We are here. Muleo took Yuan An to a huge semicircular library, which was tall and towering, with 10 floors. It was much more magnificent than the library of Shengjing College. What a magnificent! Yuan An couldn't help but admire. The library is not for viewing, but for learning. Muleo smiled and took Yuan An in. Meet the God King. The gatekeeper of the library greeted Muleo when he saw him. The interior is even more magnificent, with huge shelves standing one after another, filled with various supernatural books. According to different types of supernatural powers and different levels of supernatural powers, each floor can be divided into dozens of areas. The powers of the wooden spiritual pupils are in the 12th column of the 3rd area and the 32nd column of the 28th area on each floor. You can find them yourself. You have a whole day to choose, but you can only take one power book with you, so you must choose carefully. Muleo smiled. Yes. Then Yuan An searched on the bookshelves on each floor by himself. The power books on the same floor are of similar levels. The higher the floor, the higher the level of the power book. Yuan An casually strolled around the first floor, and then went straight to the top floor. That is the storage area for forbidden level powers. Forbidden level is the highest level of power. He learned a forbidden level power when he was in Shengjing College. Now that he came to the library of the Shengsha Alliance, of course he had to look for forbidden level powers. Where can't I learn low level powers? When I came to the 10th floor, it suddenly became much more spacious. There were more than half fewer bookshelves than on other floors. But there were still 5 bookshelves, and each of them was filled with thick power books, about 30 or 50 books. These are all forbidden level supernatural books. This number is already a lot. Yuan An walked over excitedly and quickly scanned these supernatural books. Doppelganger System Soul Clone Taboo. Beast Taming System Blood Contract Taboo. Spiritually System Insight from 1,000 Miles Taboo. Ice System Ice Purgatory Taboo. They are all good stuff. After a simple glance, Yuan An was so excited that he wanted them all. But he only had a quota for one book. The production of each supernatural book is extremely difficult, and the produced supernatural book has a maximum number of learning times. Once the limit is reached, the supernatural book will be invalid. Taboo level supernatural books can only be learned 3 times. If 3 people learn the same supernatural book, then this supernatural book will be invalid. If there is no such restriction, the Shengsha Alliance does not have to strictly control the number of supernatural books to learn. All supernatural books have been made public long ago, and anyone who wants to learn can learn. Unfortunately, there is this restriction. The higher the level of the supernatural book, the more capable people can only learn it, and not just anyone can learn it, otherwise it will be wasted. Yuan An really wants to learn all the forbidden supernatural powers. It would be great if there were more places. Although there are many forbidden supernatural powers, not all of them are offensive. Some supernatural powers are listed as forbidden because their functions are too special, or they are easy to cause harm to themselves. So it is not necessarily good to have a forbidden supernatural power. You need to choose the most suitable one according to your actual situation. Therefore, Yuan An finally chose a supernatural power that looks pretty good. Summoning System Infernal Hell Taboo. Infernal Hell. Using the summoning system, you can summon a piece of red lotus hell from the void and turn it into your own domain to burn the enemy. It belongs to range damage. The simple red lotus hell should belong to the fire system, but this supernatural power can not only summon a piece of hell, but also summon the mysterious creatures of hell. This is the main reason why Infernal Hell is listed as a summoning system. Fire plus mysterious creatures. Amazing effect. Yuan An decided to take this ability. Holding the ability book, Yuan An quickly returned to the entrance of the first floor. Muleo was still waiting here. Seeing Yuan An coming down, he smiled and said, "You found the right ability so quickly? It was only half a day." Well, there weren't many choices. There were only 30 or 50 books of taboo level abilities. How long would it take to find them? Let me see. What ability did you choose? Yuan An showed the ability book in his hand. Summoning. Hell of Hell. Taboo. The content of the prefix did not make Muleo react, but when he saw the word taboo at the end, he was stunned. Taboo level ability? Question mark. You chose a taboo level ability? Do you know how difficult it is to learn a taboo level ability? Muleo was shocked. It was not that he didn't want Yuan An to learn it, but because the taboo level ability was too difficult. Even people from the Shengsha Alliance basically had to reach the 5th level to learn it. What level is Yuan An? You want to learn a forbidden superpower right now? I learned a forbidden superpower before, and I think it's okay. I can learn it. Yuan An looked innocent. You have learned a forbidden superpower before. Which superpower? The water-based, the creation star Ain. Yuan An answered truthfully. The water-based creation star Ain. Aren't you from the wooden spiritual ice systems? How can you learn a water-based superpower? I don't know. Anyway, I learned it. Yuan An couldn't tell the truth about this kind of question. Then you can also learn the summoning superpower. I think so, Yuan An said. His telepathy is similar to the summoning system, and the system also said that he can learn it. Muleo didn't know what expression to use. What level is Yuan An? Level 1 of the 4th stage, and he can learn a forbidden superpower. It's too exaggerated. Are you sure you want to choose this? You should know that the opportunity to learn forbidden superpowers is extremely precious. Regardless of success or failure, a superpower book can only be studied by 3 people. If you fail, let alone other things, you will have wasted this rare opportunity. Muleo said seriously. I'm sure. Okay, Teacher Wang, make a copy of this superpower book for him. Muleo nodded. Teacher Wang, the person in charge of the library, took the superpower book from Yuan An, made a copy of it, and handed it to Yuan An. This kind of photocopy is not a simple photocopy. It will also reduce the number of times the superpower book is studied. Thank you, Mr. Mew. Thank you, Teacher Wang. After taking the photocopy, Yuan An thanked him solemnly. Yuan An, I hope you can learn this superpower, and I hope you can become a strong man as soon as possible and protect the Xia Empire. Muleo looked at him very seriously, solemnly, and seriously. Yes, I will never let Mr. Mew down. Chapter 122, Huang Yu's Confession. Yuan An really didn't expect that he had only been in the god's domain for a short time, but a month had already passed outside. As a result, he was the last one to come out, and the others had already gone back. However, there was still a treat for coming out late. Muleo personally sent him to the teleportation tower. Although he was the God King, Muleo did not have any high and mighty, unapproachable airs, but instead gave people a very easygoing feeling. Yuan An had a good feeling about him. Student Yuan An, you must study hard after you go back. I hope that next time we meet, I can see that you have learned the hell of Karma Fire. Muleo smiled. I will, thank you, Muleo. Yuan An waved his hand and disappeared in the light of the teleportation tower. Back to Shengjing College. Yuan An first reported to Fang Weifeng to let him know that he was back. Fang Weifeng's performance was also very calm. After all, Yuan An was in the god's domain, not being captured to the abyss like before. If he was still not safe in the god's domain, then there would be a big problem. Then Yuan An walked towards the dormitory. Before he walked back, he saw 2 figures standing in front of the dormitory building. One was Huang Yu, and the other was a boy who Yuan An had a slight impression of, but he couldn't remember who he was. The key point is, the boy was holding a bouquet of flowers in his hand. Hey, is this boy confessing to Xiao Yu? Yuan An immediately thought of this possibility, and immediately became alert, hiding aside and observing secretly. Xiao Yu, I like you. Can you be my girlfriend? Chu Xianming handed the bouquet in his hand to Huang Yu and said devoutly. Huang Yu looked a little surprised. Obviously she didn't expect Chu Xianming to confess to her. She said very neatly, Brother Chu, I'm sorry, I don't want to fall in love now, so, I'm sorry. She refused very straightforwardly, and didn't make things difficult. Is that so? Chu Xianming's expression collapsed all of a sudden, but he still held a glimmer of hope. Then if you want to fall in love in the future. Halfway through the words, perhaps because he felt that it was too embarrassing to say this, Chu Xianming himself was embarrassed to continue, and lowered his head slightly. I understand. He quickly accepted the fact, turned around and left, his back lonely. Not bad. The rejection was quite straightforward. Yuan An, who was peeking, nodded with satisfaction. If Huang Yu agreed, he might have jumped out to break up the couple. Fortunately, Huang Yu still made her feel at ease. On the other side, after rejecting Chu Xianming's confession, Huang Yu did not go back, but stood there quietly. It was early autumn, the breeze was warm, the girl was wearing a light blue dress, bright eyes and white teeth. Skin like cream, just standing there, like a fairy in a painting, beautiful beyond description. No one can be indifferent to such a girl. Brother, come out. Huang Yu suddenly said. Discovered? Yuan An was stunned for a moment, then realized that Huang Yu had already discovered him, so he continued to wait there. Ahem. Yuan An stood up from his squatting position, patted his clothes pretending to be calm, and then walked out, saying, "Not bad, you were able to find me. It seems that you have gained a lot from this inheritance." "No, it's just because my target is too obvious when I squat there, just like squatting in the toilet," the girl said with a pure face. Ahem. Breaking the defense in a second. "Is it so obvious?" Yuan An was very depressed, and then took the initiative to change the subject. "Who was that person just now? He looks a little familiar. His name is Chu Xianming. We were together during the college competition. Have you forgotten?" Huang Yu looked at him seriously, as if questioning why he could forget this. Ahem. "How could I forget? I just couldn't remember his name for the moment. Ha ha ha." Facing Huang Yu's questioning eyes, Yuan An laughed dryly and hurried into the house. "It's windy outside. Let's go in. Brother Chu just came to confess to me." Back in the house, Huang Yu took the initiative to talk to Yuan An about this. "Oh, then did you agree to it?" Yuan An asked knowingly. "Didn't you hear it all?" A slight flash of Huang Yu's eyes flashed. "Yuan An, I didn't hear it. How could I hear it when I just came back?" he said without blushing or beating his heart. If he said that he heard it, wouldn't it be admitting that he was eavesdropping just now? Is he that kind of person? Exclamation mark. "Oh, I rejected him." "How did you reject it?" Yuan An took the opportunity to speak. "I said, I already have someone I like." "You didn't seem to say that just now, right?" As soon as the words came out, Yuan An knew that he had been fooled. This girl actually tricked him! Exclamation mark. Huang Yu showed a smug expression on his face and was obviously very satisfied that Yuan An had been fooled. Change the topic. Change the topic. He couldn't continue on this topic, so he quickly got to the point. "Xiao, have you already received the inheritance from your ancestor Han Qingyan? How do you feel?" Huang Yu should be the one who benefited the most. The inheritance of a 6th order, level 9 strongman is not simple. "Well, I have received the inheritance from my predecessor, and my ice ability has been greatly improved, and my ability to control the ice has become more delicate." Huang Yu casually opened his palm, and the cold air condensed, and an ice rose made entirely of cold air condensed bit by bit. The ice rose was so delicate that even the texture on the petals was clearly visible. Amazing. Yuan An was amazed. An ice type superpower. If you ask him to create an ice wall, an ice beast, etc., he can create them easily. But to condense a small and delicate rose, it is a test of one's subtle control of the cold air. The more subtle the power, the harder it is to control. Huang Yu's control over the cold air was not so detailed before, and this was the change after obtaining the inheritance. The effect brought about was that her understanding of the ice-based supernatural power rose to a new level. Moreover, the inheritance could not be completely digested in a short period of time. For a long time afterwards, Huang Yu could continue to feel the power of the inheritance and continue to strengthen her understanding of the ice-based supernatural power. "Brother, have you inherited the netherworld fire of Senior Hushan?" Huang Yu was also very curious. "How do you know that I'm going to inherit the netherworld fire?" Yuan An was surprised. The girl giggled and said, "That's because Senior Hushan and Senior Han Qingyan once fought side by side. I learned about the existence of the netherworld fire from Senior Han Qingyan's inheritance. Senior Han Qingyan also said that the netherworld cold air I inherited and the netherworld fire of Senior Hushan both came from the abyss, and they are more powerful when combined." Yuan An raised his eyebrows. "Really? Senior Hushan didn't tell me this. In this case, I can fight side by side with you in the future." The girl's eyes flickered. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 123, Fang Weifeng. I waited for you to come back for this mission. Yuan An is back too? Just in time. Try the cake I made. Xia Zuling appeared in the dormitory on time, holding a 3-layer cake. "Teacher Xia, you are here to feed again." Huang Yu was immediately delighted when he saw the cake covered with fruit cream, and hurriedly smiled and greeted him. Although Zia Zuling was their teacher, in reality, she was more like an older sister, taking good care of Yuan An and Huang Yu, and often feeding them. I just learned how to make cakes yesterday, so you two can be guinea pigs, and it's just right to celebrate Yuan An's return, after completing the inheritance. Zia Zuling smiled. Thank you teacher Zia for feeding me. Yuan An smiled, and helped cut the cake into pieces, one for each person. Delicious. Huang Yu's eyes lit up after just one bite, and he praised it for being delicious. Teacher Zia, are you sure you just learned how to make the cake yesterday? Yuan An couldn't help but marvel at Zia Zuling's hands-on ability and craftsmanship. It was indeed delicious, comparable to those who specialize in making cakes to sell. Yes, I really just learned how to do it yesterday by following the steps in the book. This is the second cake I made. Being praised for being delicious is a great sense of accomplishment for a person who is passionate about cooking. It turns out that someone can make such delicious food just after learning it. I thought that the food made by beginners was terrible. Yuan An muttered. Huang Yu, who was standing by, accurately caught the metaphor in his words, and immediately raised his eyebrows, showing his two small tiger teeth fiercely. Brother, what do you mean? Are you saying that the dish I made last time was not delicious? Ahem, that's not what I meant. Yuan An turned his face away with a guilty look. That's what you mean. Watch it bite. Huang Yu was angry and furious. He opened his mouth and pounced on Yuan An and gnawed. Hey, don't bite, it's all saliva. Ah. Zia Zuling smiled and watched them play, very happy. Yuan An only rested for a day after returning. The next morning, Fang Weifeng sent someone to call him over. Huang Yu was also called over. Why did Dean Fang call us over so early? Huang Yu was curious. As far as she knew, neither Shengjing College nor Shengsha Alliance had any trials or competitions recently. Yuan An shrugged. What could it be? I guess they just called us over to talk, then praised us, and told us not to be proud. It was all the same old routine. After all, their performance this time was so outstanding that they should be publicly praised by the whole school. The two of them soon came to the dean's office. Dean. Oh, you're here. Fang Weifeng was still looking at the pile of task lists in his hand with a frown, and the next second, after seeing Yuan An and Huang Yu, a warm smile appeared on his face. What does the dean want to talk to us about? Nothing, just a simple chat about the college competition this time. The performance of both of you in this competition is very outstanding, exceeding the best record in the history of our college, and it deserves praise. But you must also remember that you must not be proud. You must maintain a humble attitude and study hard, understand? Fang Weifeng said seriously. Yuan An quietly touched Huang Yu's hand, with an expression of "See, I've told you everything" on his face. Huang Yu couldn't help laughing. Fang Weifeng's words were exactly what Yuan An guessed. What's wrong? What are you laughing at? Fang Weifeng noticed that Tu couldn't help laughing. Nothing, we just thought of some happy things. Yuan An couldn't help laughing. What happy things? Nothing, just a small thing. Fang Weifeng looked at them strangely, and then remembered the inheritance, and asked Yuan An, by the way, Yuan An, have you completed the inheritance in the god's domain? Yes, it's completed. I inherited the netherworld fire of Senior Hushan. That's fine. It just so happens that I have a task here, and I need you two to do it. Nodding, Fang Weifeng suddenly took out the top one from the pile of task lists in front of him. Yuan An. He was too naive, and really thought that Fang Weifeng asked them to come just to praise them. It turned out that there was a task for them. When Huang Yu heard that there was a task, he immediately became serious, and waited for Fang Weifeng's order. We have a batch of demon nuclear weapons shipped from the Zuanwu Empire, but they were intercepted and stolen at the border between the Lo's Empire and the Gidan Empire, and their whereabouts are unknown now. We spent a lot of money to buy this batch of demon nuclear weapons. The firepower is enough to face the 4th level demon beast group. We can't lose it. You two are needed to go with the people in the execution department to find it back. Originally, this mission should have started yesterday, but it happened that you just came back yesterday, so I stayed until now and waited for you to go together. Fang Weifeng handed the task list to Huang Yu. Yuan An was speechless. Thank you, Principal, for waiting for me so kindly. Such an important task was not assigned to someone to complete as soon as possible, but was specially waited for him to do it. What a jerk. You go back and prepare and leave at 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. Yes. Back to the dormitory, Yuan An looked like he had lost all hope. He had just come back and was about to be sent on a mission. It was uncomfortable. On the contrary, Huang Yu was excited because this was her first official mission. That's right. Although her level is very high, she encountered the college competition not long after entering Shengjing College, so she has not officially participated in the mission of Shengjing College. Brother, we can finally carry out the mission together. Seeing the girl's excitement, Yuan An couldn't help but hit her. Why are you so happy? Doing a mission is not playing. It's very dangerous. Huang Yu just smiled and didn't say anything. We will set off tomorrow, and we can rest tonight. As luck would have it, it started to rain in the evening. It was a drizzle at first, but it got heavier and heavier. When Yuan An came out of the shower, it was already raining heavily outside, and there was thunder roaring, deafening. It's raining so hard before we set out. Does this mean that we are going to have a bad start? The description of the thunderstorm environment shows my dissatisfaction with tomorrow's mission. Yuan An muttered and was about to lie down on the bed to sleep. There was a knock on the door outside, and then the door was gently opened, and a small face appeared behind the door. Brother, are you asleep? Get ready. What's wrong? Huang Yu pushed the door open, wearing a fluffy bunny pajamas, looking quite cute. However, the girl's face was full of nervousness and fear, and her face was even a little pale, as if she had experienced something terrible. She said timidly, "It's thundering outside. I'm scared. Can I sleep with you tonight?" Chapter 124, Investigation. Seeing the girl's pale face, Yuan An remembered that Huang Yu was indeed afraid of thunder. To be more precise, she was afraid of thunderstorms at night. When she was abandoned by her biological parents, it was on a thunderstorm night, which left a shadow in her heart. Although she was later taken home by Susan, she has never been able to overcome this shadow. In the past, when she was at home, Huang Yu would run to sleep with Susan whenever there was thunder. Now that she is not at home, she has no other choice. Why don't you go, An? Yuan An was about to say that Huang Yu could go and sleep with Susanoo. But seeing that the girl was now so pale, she probably didn't dare to walk out of this door, let alone walk to Susanoo. Well, this is basically unrealistic. Yuan An could only nod. Come up. With permission, Huang Yu crawled into the quilt like a kitten. After crawling into the quilt, perhaps because of the warmth, or perhaps because there was someone around, Huang Yu's body slowly stopped trembling. Are you not scared anymore? If not, go to sleep. We have a mission tomorrow morning. Yuan An gave her half of the pillow. Oh. Huang Yu also slowly recovered from her fear, but when the thunder sounded outside, she couldn't help but tremble in fear. So she grabbed Yuan An's arm and hugged it to her chest. Hey. The softness on his arm made Yuan An look at her immediately, but before he spoke, Huang Yu spoke first. When I slept with you before, I held your hand. Yuan An, I didn't say anything. By the way, Xiao, you are so afraid of thunder. What if the weather is still like this when you go on a mission tomorrow? What will you do? Huang Yu seemed to be really scared, and his little face, which had finally regained some color, turned pale again. Even the palm of his hand holding Yuan An exerted a little more force, and it sunk even deeper. Ahem. Actually, I was lying to you. Scientific research shows that thunderstorms often don't last long. Yuan An laughed hurriedly. Really? The girl looked up at him, half believing and half doubting in her eyes. Really? Yuan An looked sincere. I should not have scared her if I had known. Brother, can you hug me? Huang Yu curled up, trembling slightly, with a pitiful look in her eyes. Yuan An thought for a moment, did not refuse, let go of his hand, and gently hugged the girl's trembling body. The warm embrace made the girl feel at ease, and she couldn't help but rub against him, so that her body could be better hidden in Yuan An's arms. Yuan An realized that Huang Yu was so small that he could easily hold her body in his arms, and could clearly feel the girl's pleasant body fragrance. This feeling was very subtle, fragrant, soft, and heartwarming. Huang Yu slowly closed her eyes in his arms, and fell asleep peacefully. The next morning, It's over. It's over. We are going to be late. Huang Yu looked panicked, and Yuan An followed closely behind. Isn't it because you overslept? They woke up at 6:30 and hurriedly brushed their teeth and washed their faces and went out without even having breakfast. Finally, at the exact moment of 7 o'clock, the two of them arrived at the transmission tower. Sure, the time is so tight. Fang Weifeng glanced at his watch. It was exactly 7 o'clock. Ahem. This is called making full use of every second to conserve energy, so as to be in a better mental state to perform the mission. Yuan An said seriously. If you overslept, you overslept. You put it so high and mighty. Fang Weifeng glanced at him and ruthlessly exposed him. Yuan An was very thick-skinned, and he didn't mind being exposed. Huang Yu was thin-skinned, and her pretty face blushed a little embarrassedly. Okay, since everyone is here, let's go and complete the mission well. Fang Weifeng didn't want to waste time on such things. The people from the execution department have also arrived. 6 people, including Yuan An and Huang Yu. There are 8 people. If you are ready, let's go. The captain of this mission is a woman wearing a black cat mask, with a good figure and curvy curves. Yes. Everyone nodded and entered the transmission tower together. Our mission this time is to retrieve the lost demon nuclear weapons. This batch of demon nuclear weapons was lost at the border between the Lo's Empire and the Gilan Empire, so it is possible that someone from the Lo's Empire took it, or it is possible that someone from the Gilan Empire took it. Black Cat's words rang out in the transmission channel, so we have to split into 2 teams. I, White Bear, Black Bear, and Yuan An will be in one team to investigate the border of the Lo's Empire. White Cat, Black Snake, White Snake, and Huang Yu will be in one team to investigate the border of the Gilan Empire. Is there any problem? No. Very good. Black Cat completed the personnel allocation. Soon, the space transmission array came to the end, and everyone appeared in a forest avenue. This was a temporary space transmission point left by the executor who escorted the demon nuclear weapons, allowing them to be directly transmitted to the place where the accident happened. This is a road, paved with stones, and flanked by dense jungles, but at this time, many trees on both sides have collapsed, and it can be seen that there was a battle here not long ago. Investigate the scene. Black Cat ordered, and everyone acted separately. In fact, the traces at the scene were very obvious. For the experienced execution team, they quickly collected all the information. Our companions drove a car to escort the weapons, but no car was seen at the scene, which means that the other party took the car away as well. Based on the destroyed trees on both sides, the other party's supernatural powers at least include 3 attributes: wind, thunder, and fire. This place is very remote, and it is difficult to have witnesses, so there is no way to confirm where the other party went. Several executors summarized the survey results. Huang Yu and Yuan An were stunned. They could only see that there had been a battle here, and they could not analyze anything else. As expected, one must specialize in one's field. Hearing this, Black Cat nodded and said, after the incident, the Din also asked people from the Lo's Empire and the Gilan Empire to help investigate. It can be basically confirmed that the other party did not escape along the main road. They should have retreated to the mountains on both sides. And according to the intelligence of the Lo's Empire and the Gilan Empire, there is a group of bandits active in this mountain range. It is very likely that they did it. First, investigate the mountains on both sides separately. The companions escorting the weapons are a team with 1 level 3 of the 4th stage and 2 level 4 of the 4th stage. This means that the other party is either of a high level or has a large number of people. Report in time if you encounter any situation, and don't act rashly. Yes. Several people nodded and then immediately split up. Team 1 went to the mountains on the border of the Lo's Empire, and Team 2 went to the mountains on the border of the Gilan Empire. Chapter 125. Yuan An's team was responsible for investigating the mountains on the border of the Lo's Empire. Going up the hillside, the surrounding area was covered with weeds more than half a person's height, making it difficult to move. The 4 people stood separately, with the team leader Black Cat and Black Bear in front, and Yuan An and White Bear in the back, with a distance of 10 meters between the 2 sides, so as to facilitate the care of possible emergencies in front and behind. Junior brother, I didn't expect to be able to carry out the mission with you. It's an honor. White Bear suddenly took the initiative to chat with Yuan An. Brother, do you know me? Yuan An had not had much contact with the executive department of the academy, and he didn't know them very well. What you said, you are now a celebrity in our academy. Who doesn't know you? White Bear said with a chuckle, making Yuan An a little embarrassed. After all, he is thin-skinned. The surroundings were still calm for the time being, and Yuan An was not very nervous. He said modestly, brother, you are joking. I'm not a celebrity. Don't think I'm exaggerating. Let me tell you, even many girls in our executive department are talking about you. They say that you are handsome, strong, and have a good personality. I'm moved by what they say. Bei Xiang said. You are moved by me? Yuan An was shocked. Bei Xiang waved his hands repeatedly, metaphorically. My habit is very normal. Now that I know you, I will have a reason to interact with those girls more after I go back. If you are interested, I can be a middleman to introduce you to a few fair-skinned and beautiful girls. As he said that, he bumped Yuan An with his shoulder. Forget it. Don't forget it yet. Although we wear masks every day in the execution department, it is very good for the skin, and there are many beautiful girls. Just like our captain, although it is the first time for me to perform a mission with her, she is a famous beauty in our execution department. Look at her breasts, waist, and buttocks, they are amazing. Junior brother, aren't you tempted by such a figure? Bei Xiang became more and more excited, and even began to comment on the black cat in front. Yuan An took a look, and found that the black cat's figure was indeed very good, tall, plump, and round. He looked at her carefully. It's just that her breasts are a little big. No way. There are still people who dislike big breasts. Do you like ordinary ones? That's not the case. I like just the right size. Yuan An felt that this topic was getting more and more perverted. Captain Black Cat was walking in front, and they were discussing her figure behind her. Why did they feel an inexplicable sense of excitement? Of course, both of them kept their voices very low, so as not to be heard. Really? I think the bigger the better. TSK TSK TSK. But unfortunately, Black Cat's butt is not big enough. My mother said that women with big butts are easier to give birth. Yuan An felt that the topic was getting more and more perverted, so he had to interrupt the topic. Shh, senior brother, let's be more vigilant. Oh. The two stopped talking. The mountains are continuous and overgrown with weeds. The four of them walked for almost an hour and finally found a clue. On a relatively flat mountain, a lot of weeds that were originally half a person's height were pressed down. Obviously, something passed here. The four of them immediately raised their vigilance and approached the messy grass carefully. They originally planned that there would be no other ambushes around before they began to investigate. The direction of these grasses falling is messy. There are in every direction of the east, south, west, and north. They should be pressed down by the air, sprayed downward when the flying car passed by. Black Cat observed for a while and quickly came to a conclusion. When the executives form a team to go on a mission, they will be equipped with different types of superpowers according to the situation, including frontal assault type, position defense type, mission reconnaissance type, etc. This mission requires a reconnaissance type psychic, and Black Cat is one of them. In this kind of densely forested mountain, no one will use a flying car as a means of transportation, unless they have to drive a flying car. In other words, the gang of bandits is going this way, White Bear said. Black Cat squatted down, pulled out the short knife behind him, and stuck it into the ground, flicked the blade lightly, and then closed his eyes to listen to the subtle sound echoing. What is the captain doing? White Bear asked first. How should I know? Yuan An just met Black Cat today. Who knows how she usually performs tasks? But seeing how serious she is, the two dared not disturb her. Soon, Black Cat opened her eyes, put away the short knife, and looked in one direction with a firm gaze. They are in a canyon behind this mountain. Captain, how did you know? White Bear asked in surprise. Black Bear on the side helped explain. The captain's ability is the spiritual ear system, with very good hearing. He can easily hear normal speaking voices 1,000 meters away, and even people's breathing within 500 meters. So strong? Yuan An was very surprised. The clairaudience system means that the hearing is well developed. According to normal standards, this is an ability that has almost no combat power, but it is so useful for reconnaissance. You can hear the voice of the enemy from a distance of 1000 meters, and it is easy to get intelligence. Next, Beizayang, Yuan An, you two go in front. Black Cat said. Why? Beizayang asked subconsciously. I'm a reconnaissance type, and Black Bear is a defensive type. Only you and Yuan An are suitable for frontal assault. Black Cat said, and at the end she added, this is a legitimate reason. Legitimate reason? What is the improper reason? Beizayang's main point is to ask questions when there is a problem. The improper reason is that I don't want anyone to nod and comment on my figure behind my back. Beizayang and Yuan An were both stunned for a second, then reacted and fell into great shock. That's right. Black Cat is a clairaudience system and can hear the voices of people 1000 meters away. Then can't they also hear the low discussion they just had 10 meters behind? They thought that Black Cat couldn't hear it, but it heard everything! Exclamation mark. Public execution? It doesn't matter if my breasts are big or small, it's not your turn to touch them anyway. It doesn't matter if my waist is thick or thin, it's not your turn to hug it anyway. It doesn't matter if my butt is fertile or not, it's not your turn to have children anyway. With every word the Black Cat said, his momentum became stronger, and Beizayang and Yuan An felt more guilty. In short, you'd better pray that this mission can be completed perfectly, otherwise, I will twist both of your heads off. Do you understand? The Black Cat's voice in the last sentence was much louder, as if he wanted to eat people, which directly stunned Beizayang and Yuan An. Yes. The two of them answered quickly, and then turned around to clear the way in front, and did not forget to blame each other. It was all each other's fault. End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone. See you in the next video.